Welcome back, everybody, to the GeoGuessr World League. I am Project Bloom, or Bloom, joined here by the legendary Jake Lyons. How are you, Jake?
I'm doing great. Cannot wait for week 2.
Great, amazing. Guys, it's going to be a good time. We're back. There was another stream earlier today. Some great games went down, but we're back to give you more. We got quite a few today. We're actually going to be able to hop around a bit more than even last time, which is exciting. So lock in, people. It's going to be a good time. But what are we doing here? What is the GeoGuessr World League, and what is GeoGuessr?
What a great question, Bloom. So, the basic idea behind GeoGuessr is that you're dropped somewhere in the world on Google Street View. All you have is an image, basically, and the idea is you have to use all the clues around you to try and narrow down where in the world you are, using the landscape, the signs, the architecture, whatever else, and then you open a map in the bottom right side of the screen, click, and try to click on the map as close as you possibly can, and you get 5,000 points for a perfect score, and you're trying to get as close to a perfect score as possible.
That's a great explanation there. That's pretty much it. You guess Google Maps. It's a good game. It's a great game. But how do these players play it? How do the professional players get down to the bottom of this? What we look at here is our game modes. Our first game mode is they can move around on that street view, as we spoke about. They can move, they can find whatever they want, but they have a 1-minute time limit. That is it. Our second game is no moving. The players spawn in, they get one 360 panorama. They can zoom, but they can't move up and down the street, and they gotta make their guesses. Our tiebreaker, if we get there, is no moving, panning, or zooming. That is one still, singular image, and that's all the players get. Pretty exciting. Jake, what's your favorite? Moving?
Moving for me. Yep, I think it's a fairly unpopular opinion these days in the community, but I love moving. I love getting to look around, find as much information as I can. And my favorite part is exact location. Getting that 5,000 maximum score, finding the exact spot. That's the most fun part of the game for me.
Definitely.
How about you?
That makes sense. I think no move is my personal favorite. I think it's a good time. But we all always are gonna get at least one of each of those. And with our first match of the day starting in a couple minutes here, that's Rix and Yannick. We're going to see both, at the very least. Maybe we'll get to NMPZ, we will see. But this is our schedule today that we're looking at right now. In just 2 minutes here, we'll be starting up our first match, as I mentioned, Rix and Yannick. But we will also be in the same time slot getting Flyme and Debre about 15 minutes in. So that'll be very exciting. We're going to get 2. Out of this first slot, are there any matches that really stand out to you, Jake?
I'm excited for all of them. I'm excited for Rix versus Yannick. These are two players who I don't personally know that much about because they came up through the qualification system. We haven't seen them in the sort of World Cup scene before. But honestly, in a sense, the qualifying players, the people who had to make it through the high bar of the qualifiers to reach here are even maybe a little bit scarier than the ones who are known. So I think to me and to a lot of the viewers, Rix and Yannick are players that they haven't seen that many times. But we've already seen them proving their worth so far in this league, and I would expect that to continue.
Yeah, definitely. It's very exciting. Having to make it through that qualifying bracket means they really had to showcase their skill. But as we mentioned, there have been a lot of games going on already, so let's take a look at overall standings so far throughout this league. As we can see, Blinky is on top with 14 points. Almost dominating right now if you really look around. RC right there with him at 13 as well, though. But then a pretty big gap down to Moo and the other players with 8 points. Anything standing out to you, Jake?
I would say Blinky and Radu at the top, not particularly surprising to anyone who's familiar enough with GeoGuessr. These guys are incredible players. It is also worth noting, though, that there is a lot of imbalance in terms of how many matches these players have played. There are a lot of players at the bottom of the table who literally haven't played at all yet. So it's hard to knock them for having 0 points at this point. But I think so far the schedule has, or the games have come out maybe fairly expected. Blinky, Radu, Moo, MK, Constance. These are guys you probably expect to see near the top. But I am excited to see how the games go.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be good to see, especially those players, as you mentioned, who haven't played yet, finally getting a chance to play. Debre, one of them that we've mentioned before, and we're going to get to see very shortly here, which is quite exciting. But yeah, I agree. Blinky RC on top is definitely expected in some sense. I think Moo being up there was expected for me, but not necessarily expected overall. I know he's been grinding a little bit in silence recently, but definitely paying off here as we see him up there as well. But I'm hearing now that we are ready for the game. Our players are ready, and I believe our casters are ready too. Let's throw it on over to the casters. Hey guys, thanks Bloom for the throw. I really appreciate it. It's Bloom here, joined by Jake Lyons for the casting team. We are in our first match, Rix and Yannick.
Ooh, Culiacan, Sin. Okay, so Yannick, I don't know if he probably didn't notice. There's a city called Culiacan along the coast in western Mexico in the state of Sinaloa. So it said SIN on the sign, which is an abbreviation for Sinaloa. So they should be near Culiacan, Sinaloa. However, the fact that Yannick hasn't zoomed in probably means that he wasn't able to pick up on that info.
I see, yeah. That makes sense. Hopefully it works out for him. Both players trying to get any more information that they can, but our timer is already almost done here.
Yeah, we'll see. Mexico can be difficult to region guess, especially in an urban environment when you can't get much of a feel for the landscape. Yannick is a good deal too far southeast, but they both are here. So I don't think it's going to matter much.
Yeah,
and I'm wrong.
In the same state. Oh, no worries. No
All
worries,
right, well,
no worries.
I would have gotten completely baited by that. I don't know why it said Culiacan, Sinaloa on the wall, but okay.
Maybe just a little bait just for you, Jake.
You're messing with me.
We go to round 2. We're all good. Both players basically made the same guess, so nothing to write home about there as we move on to what appears to be a Finland round.
Does look like a Finland. This landscape makes a lot of sense. You see this very forested landscape, a dirt road and birch trees all over the place. Super, super typical for Finland. Looks like Rix has a sign to a couple of towns, but I don't think they're very big, so... Looks like he's scanning, but I'm not sure he's going to find much.
Rural like this, those town names are probably going to be pretty small as well. But they are, it is just sort of central, right in between them. Again, not too much, but at least they each dealt a blow there as we go to round 3.
This one looks like a Norway, or possibly mountainous Sweden. Should be Norway, though.
I like the Norway shout here. Makes a lot of sense. We have Rix zooming in, sort of middle of the country.
Norway is notoriously pretty difficult to region guess. The thing with Norway is that it's very mountainous, but it's mountainous all the way up the entire coast. And it can be really difficult sometimes to tell the northern part from the southern part.
Yeah, definitely. That can be quite difficult. It all can look pretty similar. There are some clues that you can use, like certain types of coverage where you find Gen 2, things like that. Trees get shorter as you go farther north, but generally it can be pretty difficult. It looks like Yannick, did you see a sign there? It didn't seem like it was much to him, though. He's just seems to be making a region guess near Oslo.
Yeah, there's not much there, although Rix is not in the same area, although he's going to come further south now. Fairly similar guesses from the players here.
Works out for Rix, closer by just a bit there. 482 damage down to Yannick.
Yeah, I think Rix did have a town name there, and he was scanning for a bit, but wasn't able to find it. It was pretty small.
Yeah, we got a quick lock from Rix. Rix does not want to move around. He goes, okay, Sri Lanka, go next. Let's click middle, go next. Yannick trying to see if he can find anything at all to help him out here, but he doesn't think he can, so they just center guess. Yannick a little closer. We go next. That's it.
Yep, not much to speak of there. Sri Lanka, fairly easy country to recognize most of the time, and it's of course quite small as well, so if they have no idea, they're just going to send kind of north-central in the sort of flatter part of the country and just move on. Another Finland here. This one could be a little more interesting.
Yeah, we got a snowy Finland Gen 2. Oh, he's gotten into Gen 4, Rix. Maybe that means he's going to get to some newer coverage, maybe some bigger areas, some better signs.
Ranta, that's a large city in South Karelia, I believe, in the southeastern part.
We'll see if
of
Rix knows
Finland.
it here.
Yannick is still in the Gen 2. He doesn't have anything, but yeah, he's looking for the other two towns, but I think Lappeenranta is the largest one. Not sure he sees it. See, you see it at the bottom of his screen there.
Yeah, it is there. Does he see it?
There, he's got it, I think.
He's got it. He's lining it up with this sign. He sees it's kind of to the west of him. I'm sorry, to the east of him. Yannick not found anything. Going center. This is going to be big points for Rix with 3.5 times damage. And he's on it. That's going to be
Yannick a
decent
little
hit.
unfortunate there with the direction that he moved. Just in general, it's usually a good sign when you get to newer Google coverage because it means you're probably on a larger road. So the fact that Rix was able to get into that Gen 4 and Yannick was stuck in the Gen 2 the whole time, that was what made the difference there.
Definitely. Round 6 here. We're on 3.5 times damage. The multis are getting pretty serious. We seem to be in possibly, what, Mexico by the looks of it?
Quite possibly, yeah. It should be Mexico.
We'll see if the players can gain any information here. They're moving up the road. Rix is having a little bit of trouble there, getting a little bit of a slower movement as he makes his way uphill, which is interesting. We've definitely mentioned that before here, me and Jake as a duo. This moving up the hill sometimes is not the smartest move. People tend to, in moving, love to move down the hill. You tend to find more information that way.
Yep. If at all possible, it's good to move down. Doesn't look like either player has anything here. It wouldn't shock me if this is somewhere close to Mexico City. Although Rix is a good deal further west, so this is going to be big, probably.
Oh, and it is just near Mexico City, Yannick. That's going to be big points. Rix definitely not happy with that, we see on the camera. But he's going to lock in. He's going to lock in.
Yeah, he took the risk, went near Guadalajara there. I think a lot of the architecture was more sort of white brick, which usually pulls you a little further east, so I think a bit of a risky guess from Rix for sure, and you could tell he wasn't super happy with himself.
Yeah, but he's locked back in. They're ready to go on round 7. Yannick far away from his computer. If we take a look at that, that's interesting. The NMPZ, he might need to take a little lean in there.
Surely.
We have a karaoke sign. We should go play karaoke, Jake. That's what I think. I think we should go here and we should do the karaoke in whatever town this is in.
It's a sign for Superior Septic. I wonder if that means we're close to Lake Superior.
That would
Should
make
be
a
in
lot of sense.
Ontario.
We do have a trout
Yeah.
lake here from Rix. Probably not super findable. I like the Ontario. Yannick also seeing the trout lake sign.
Okay, yeah, Yannick further east, but I think if... Oh, no. I wonder if the word superior makes you go Lake Superior. It should have, yeah.
It should have, but both players pretty similar distance away from the correct location, but that is a couple more points down to Rix. Rix locking back in as we move on to round 8. Not a position you want to be in, down almost over 2k health. Round 8, 4.5 times multi. Again, if we do get to that round 10, it is the last round. You got to prove yourself in 10. That's it.
Belgium's not where you want to be when you're down a lot of points, because there aren't going to be that many points on offer in a small country like Belgium.
Yeah,
Rix
even with
wants larger
multis.
countries in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, Rix is not too happy about it being a small country like this. They're both going to know it, and even still, Yannick's going to be a little closer. Yannick's going to be real happy about that, just keeping his lead, taking it to round 9. Yannick wants the small countries to keep his lead. Rix needs something big to make a big comeback.
So this is big enough to make a difference. Looks like Malaysia, probably the Borneo side of the country, definitely large enough for Rix to get some points back or even win. If he can find some information here.
Yeah, hopefully Rix can find the info, and if Yannick doesn't, then that'll be big for him. He does see a little sign here. It could possibly give him some road numbers. I like the Sarawak guess. He's zooming in, seeing if he can find anything there. Yannick has come to the same exact sign, though. If we do see two similar guesses, this is going to be a go next.
So these kilometer markers, you'll see them fairly commonly in Malaysia, and they give you distances to nearby cities. It looks like, I don't know if Rix has found one of the towns on the marker, but I don't think Yannick has anything. So Rix may have this. We'll see.
This could be good. They are pretty close to each other, however. Oh, Yannick opting to go more west. That's going to create a bigger difference. That could be a good comeback for Rex here. That's
Oh my
pretty
gosh.
decent. They're even now. Round
Oh
10
my.
now means everything.
This is it right here. It's like an Albania? Oh my goodness. Well.
Oh, wow. Albania, that's a small country to an extent, so Rick's not going to be super happy about that, but it's still possible. Only 100-point difference, basically, with 5.5 times damage. A comeback is totally doable on our last round, round 10.
With the score this close, anything is possible. This is, even in a small country, I don't think Rick's is too worried about that. I think it just is going to come down to, are they in the right area of the country?
Yeah, Rick's
Even
kind
a
of opting
tiny
to
bit
just...
closer is going to be enough.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
It seems they're just guessing off of no particularly solid information, but vibes.
my
They
gosh.
end up next to each other, and that's just 6.
Wow.
6 points, and with Rick's having less overall health, Yannick will take the moving game. We go on to no move.
That is brutal for Rix. I mean, wow. I mean, I stand corrected saying he wasn't too worried about being down by only like 60 points, but they guessed in essentially the same place. And that tiny difference ended up being the entire difference in the game. That is so tough to lose by that few points.
That is so tough. Hopefully the comeback happens in the no move game. We will see. So again, now our players get this 360 panorama, and that's it. No more moving, no more finding things. It's just this. So even rural like this is all they get. We are looking at what appears to be in Argentina, though. We do have some good clues here. The black Google car. There are some electricity poles that are very particular to Argentina, helping our players out. Now they got to make a region guess within that country, and we'll see who's closer.
Yeah, both of them looks like they're opting for Buenos Aires province here. Similar guesses. And very good guesses.
Yeah, and Rick's a little closer. Good for the mental to start with a round win there as we go into round 2.
Every game counts, every round counts. Rick's, of course, does not want to lose 2-0 here.
Yeah, so again, if a player loses if a player loses 0-2, their opponent will get all 3 of the possible points that they could get to their world ranking. But if they do get to NMPZ, that player who ended up losing the overall match will still get 1 point, so even getting there is very good for this overall league standing. Again, 20 weeks of play we have going on here with 40 of the best players in the world.
Interesting. It ends up being Slovenia. Both players going Austria, Far East. I think maybe they thought they had clues for Austria, but the architecture felt maybe a little bit more Eastern, more Slavic, but it ended up just being Slovenia.
Just Slovenia, but Rix did hold his lead. It's just round 3 here, but he has not taken damage. We go into round 3. The 2.5 times damage is now in effect. The multis start to get serious around here already.
Yannick is in Poland and then Romania, 2 countries that have Generation 2 camera, but it's very rare in both. So this might be an unusual bit of coverage here.
This honestly does look like quite a weird coverage, and we do see Rix opting for France and Yannick in Romania. This could be massive points. Yannick actually switching over to France now. There is a French car right there we see on Rix's screen. Very common to see all over France. That could be indicator of why he's moving.
Wow.
Yannick sees the car as well, but he goes back to Romania. It is just Paris. Rix, with 2 times damage, takes the no moving game, and we move on to NMPZ.
6K to 0. Oh my goodness. That is a bold guess. I'm not going to lie from Yannick, because like I said, Generation 2 coverage, it exists in Romania, but it's very, very rare, especially with that French car very close to spawn. That was a risky guess, and it didn't quite pay off for him there.
Yeah, it didn't. You saw him debate France, though. He saw the French car, but not a lot else was going on. That was a weird piece of coverage there, but Gen 2 is more common in France, so it does make sense.
Both players will probably know that this is Turkey. Yep. We've got the A white Generation 4 car with that little antenna, which you see all over the place in Turkey. Wow.
And Yannick closer. This is Yannick's chance for the comeback. We need... Where's the support for Yannick in the chat? Lock in. He won the first game. Went down in that second. Yannick, time to lock in. Great guess.
Interesting round here. Kind of going for Puerto Rico. Rick's in the Dominican Republic, so pretty close, but yeah. Rick's is going through it right now.
He is going through it.
All the emotions.
He just got such a great game win, got a lock in, but Yannick so impressive, not letting that game take a toll on his mental. He is chilling now on this NMPZ game. We're in round 3. Yannick seems to have the confidence back. We love to see it. Quick guessing from Ricks.
Guesses. Yannick is well further north here in Sweden, and it's not going to pay off for him this time.
Wow, it works out well for Ricks. That's a pretty decent hit now. They've pretty much evened up, just a 400-point difference now. Moving into round 4.
Anyone's game. Looks like Bangladesh to me. Both players seem to agree, although they're in different ends of the country, which is interesting.
Yeah, Yannick opting for just the middle guess, and they're pretty equidistant, but Rick's a little closer. Still getting him 502 points down. Now Ricks takes the lead.
This is going to come down to the wire for sure. This one probably is, I was going to say Romania, but Hungary makes sense as well, yeah. These holy poles that you see on the right side of the screen, you get these most commonly in Hungary and Romania. Poland as well, but they look a little different most of the time in Poland.
Yeah, Poland's are a little thinner. Also commonly Romania's would be painted white at the bottom there.
True.
So we do just get those 2 Hungary guesses. Rick's closer again, and that's actually a decent bit of damage down to Yannick. Yannick, lock in, round 6. But 3.5 times damage NMPZ. This is really anyone's game.
Absolutely, especially with a round like this. I don't know what we're looking at here. This road is very strange, with the grass in the middle.
It is quite strange.
Czech, Poland, Slovakia tri-point. We'll see what Ricks does. I have no idea what I'm looking at here, but he's a good deal further west right now.
I don't know why, but I feel like with that little thing on the side of the road there, this feels a little more like Balkan to me. But like a Romania, but this is a difficult round.
I don't know. That building is really weird. I don't know what it is or what it's for, but it's not really giving me vibes for anything. I'm just not really sure what I'm looking at.
It's quite strange. Slovakia could make sense, but Rick's all the way over in Western Europe here. I think he's in Belgium. Yes, he is. This is going to be huge points. This is going to be the game. Unless he moves over to Czechia, he's considering it, but he's keeping it there. It's Austria.
Oh my gosh, it's Austria. That probably does it. It's close. Oh.
Wow. That's a big hit to Ricks. Ricks on 381 health. Yannick alive from guessing Slovakia there. 1 country over. Pulling a bit of an aim and winning. We do have round 7. We have 4 times damage. Ricks, you are still in this. You could come back. Yannick, you could also take the game right here, right now.
Another very difficult round. Oh my gosh, he's zooming into North America. I was thinking about it. It's hard to see for me on the screen. The screen is quite small. It's hard to see the buildings in the distance, but he's sending Seattle. I could see it, honestly. It's hard for me to tell what the buildings look like. But
this is crazy. No. It ends up being just Europe. What was that? Austria or Germany? I can't even tell. They haven't zoomed in. Yannick takes the win on that round. Yeah, what a roller coaster of an entire matchup all the way back and forth. That was an exciting way to start the day, if I do say so myself.
That was an insane way to start the day.
I mean, just goodness. Back and forth and back and forth. It just shows you how exciting this is and how great these players are. And even still, they are pro. Everybody can make mistakes. This is a very difficult game. You're dealing with the whole world here.
Yeah. It's so cool to see these new players kind of bursting onto the scene, though, because, again, Ricks and Yannick, not players I'm very familiar with, but it's really cool to see them play and show off what they have in store.
Definitely. Well, let's take a look at the other game going on right now. We have Flyme and Debray. They delayed a bit so that we could see most of their game. They are on their moving game right now, and Debray is down.
Debray is down. So this is Debray's first game of the league. He has not played yet. He came prepared with the outfit, though.
He did. He came very prepared. The NMPC hat is on both the avatar and in real life. We love to see it. The avatar drip always is great to see.
So yeah, looks like we have an Urban Norway round. Flyme's got his pin down in Oslo, which definitely could work. Makes a lot of sense to be in the Oslo sort of metropolitan area, looking like this. It looks like they're going to both go for the same thing.
Both players go in there. Debray would need a comeback right now, but
plenty of time to do it, though.
Yeah, plenty of time to do it. We do just go next, however. But Flyme a little closer. I mean, that's still 100 points of damage. That could make or break a game. We've seen some crazy games where players get down to 43 health, come back. So even 100 damage, it's something.
True.
It's something.
You never know.
We do move on to round 6 here, 3.5 times damage. The players off to the races in quite a rural round. We'll see if they even happen to find any signs at all.
Yeah, this one looking more rural, definitely more difficult. Looks like Thailand. I don't know if either of the players is able to read Thai, but it'll be interesting to see if they find any good clues here.
Yeah, we do finally have some signs there. Debray's made it into some newer Gen 4 coverage, as we mentioned. This newer coverage tends to mean it's a more important road to be driven on.
So Debray has a province abbreviation right there on that sign, but it looks like he does not know how to read it, which is not a surprise. There aren't too many players in the community who are able to read Thai. There are a fair few, but it's still something that a lot of people have not gotten around to doing because it's quite difficult.
Flyme ends up a little closer again. Debray really needs to lock in here. It is his first game. You know, you have Flyme, who's already had a couple games. Debray's been on a bit of a break. I know he was on a bit of a vacation, actually, and that's why he didn't play week 1. But he's back. He's locked in. And so, you know, coming back, this is his first game on. Might need a little bit of a warm-up period. We'll see.
They both have a town name. El Viso de Acor, I think, is what the trash bin said. But I'm not sure that either of them knows it. I certainly don't know what it is. So we'll see if either is able to find it here.
Yeah.
Área de Sevilla we have on Flyme's screen. So that is, of course, Seville in southern Spain. He's just going to go ahead and click Seville. Hope that Debray does not find the same information, and that could win him this game.
Yeah, it seems like he hasn't, but he's going to a similar area, probably based just off of vibes. We'll see. Oh, that is pretty close, but Flyme definitely closer, so with 4 times, still not going to be too many points. 152. Debray does stay alive. He stays in it, but Flyme really showing some prowess here.
Yep, found the information, he used it quite well, but it's worth noting that was an excellent guess from Debray. Not easy to figure that out. I mean, I don't think he had any real info other than just kind of the vibes, so you region guessed it very, very well.
Very impressive from Debray. They do instantly have a sign here, both of them.
In Chile, you'll find the way the roads are organized, they go from basically A to Z, from north to south. So you'll see little provincial A roads far north. And as you go further down, the letters go further down. So they had a road starting with U and Debray finding the 5K.
Big 5K there from Debray, and he's so calm about it. No reaction. Light work, no reaction.
Well, he knows he's going to need more than that to win. He needs a tricky round, and, well, we might have it here.
We might. We'll see. It seems
Debray
like
knows U.S. area codes, by the way. I don't know if this is U.S. or Canada, but if it is U.S., it probably is Canada. The polls look more Ontario to me, but
I agree. I feel like this feels very Canadian. And Debray even did look at that sign and opted to not really try and take a look at that phone number because maybe he does know it's just Canada. He sees a sign right there. I couldn't see exactly what it said, but it gave him some info that made him want to confidently go near Toronto.
I think it's just Port Perry wetlands or something, although I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what Port Perry is, but they're in pretty similar areas here. The Debray's... Oh, he switched to Lake Erie. I don't know if he has anything. That's probably going to do it.
That might end out the game with 5 times damage, but it doesn't actually. Debray's still somehow alive. 251 points. Lock in, Debray. You could still do it. It's not impossible. But round 10, what appears to be a US by the looks of it, you could get some big points here, but the region seems relatively clear-ish. It seems sort of like the New England area, up in that area. They're both so close to each other. I don't think Debray can win this one. Fly me.
So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, even though Debray's closer, I think with 5.5 times,
never
it's
enough.
Not enough.
So Debray, as we said, he knows US area codes, but that round was, I guess, easy enough to get a vibe for Fly Me, so he was able to get close enough and avoid the last second upset.
Yeah, but Fly Me taking that win, it does work out well for him. They're locking in. Debray taking a sip of his drink, getting ready to go into this no-move game. I do think, if I had to say, Debray's better at no-move than moving. So maybe this is where he wants to be. I'm sure he would have liked to take that moving game, but Fly Me is very good at no-move as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a close match all around.
Yeah, this is still going to be close for sure. Debray, I don't think he's too worried. Is he ever that worried?
Is he ever? That's a great question. I don't think he is.
But no, Debray, a formidable no-moving player. But so is Fly Me. I mean, Fly Me is he represents Argentina, but he's French. A lot of people think of French players. They hear a player is French and they automatically assume that they're a moving player. Well, I mean, is not. He considers himself a no-move player, so
yeah,
he's definitely still in his element here.
Definitely, which is good for him. It's gonna work out. This looks like a fun round. I think we might see some big points here. I really do like the Nusas here. In Indonesia, when it's a little drier like this, you can see the dirt's a little drier. It's kind of that mid-brown. Very common in the Nusa area.
I think they'll both probably have the same vibe here. Yep. Makes sense. Northern coast of these Nusa Tenggara Islands is exactly where you'll see this kind of landscape. The question is, which island are we on? Because that is not obvious.
It's definitely not. Both players, I think, are close-ish to each other. I think they're both on the East Nusa Tenggara Island, if I'm not mistaken. So we shouldn't see too many points. They're lining up the water here, as you can see with the compass in that bottom left. Super helpful. They do have ocean there to their north. Oh, wow. Both players guessed in the same spot. 9 points.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, both players going for Flores Island. Probably hedging for a couple of the islands further east. I think Lembata, Alor were also possibilities, but it ends up being Sumbawa further west. But no harm done to either player, really.
We move on to round 3 here on what appears to be a Panama. Both players confidently in the same region of Panama as well. They're making the same guesses back to back. Fly Me laughing about it. They're doing the same. They're playing the same game.
Yep. I think there is a lot of sort of mountainous coverage where both players clicked there, so those guesses made a lot of sense. And now we have a Ghana. We'll see if they guess the same spot this time.
Yeah, Fly Me actually zooming right in on that Ghana tape. A classic, one of many people's first meta they ever learn. That Google car with bars on it, black tape, on the top right.
Ghana may have this, actually. He's got a road with a good angle and a river. Yep.
And
beautifully done.
Does the no-move 5K from Debray. We love to see it. Fly Me has to nod in respect for that.
Yeah. That's about all you can do there. That's an amazing guess from Debray. Ooh. Now we've got an Indonesia. This is going to be interesting. So we have tiled roofs and we have symmetrical poles, which points you towards west central Java, which is where Debray has zoomed in. Fly Me is following suit.
Getting the guess in quick.
Players looking for information, but these are all just ads and warnings against smoking, which you'll see a lot of that stuff in Indonesia. Sometimes it's hard to separate the good info from the nonsense.
60 down to Debray. Nothing to write home about. We go next.
Are these Mount Gambier pines? Debray thinks so, yeah. So you see a lot of these pine forests near the town of Mount Gambier in southern South Australia. So that's the vibe that Debray has here. We'll see if Flyme agrees or not.
I like the guess quite a lot. Flyme opting sort of close, but much more in Victoria.
And it is just Victoria.
Yeah, it
Nice
pays
guess.
off. That's decent damage.
Yeah, really good guess from Flyme there. Puts him back in the lead here. 4 rounds to go.
Round 7, instant signs here. I think these players are both quite good at even getting no move 5Ks. So let's see if they can line something up. Debray seems to have recognized some of the signs possibly because they're both in the same area. They're both Victoria Island, which makes sense. Victoria on the sign. Victoria's a beautiful town. I've actually been there.
Wow. Yeah, we're not going to have much damage here. Both players know they of course know that it's Vancouver Island. They have Victoria, they have Nanaimo. Those are the 2 largest cities on the island. So, yeah, Debray's going to need around. It's a little tougher than this to get those points back. But scanning for the 5K though, doesn't look like they have it yet.
Yeah, nothing lining up by the looks of it. But we'll see. Debray just locking it in. Flyme trying to see if he can line it up. But Debray has it! With another 5K. That's 2 no-moving 5Ks from Debray in the same game. This is what I was saying about the no-move prowess from Debray. I think he's more comfortable here than he is in moving.
I stand corrected. He did actually take the lead back there, but this is Eastern Russia by the looks of it, and this is probably going to be a lot more impactful than the last round.
Definitely. Jake, you know what we say here. Big country, big points. There it is. There it is. Let's see. Our players are pretty far apart from each other. Debray down near Vladivostok. Flyme farther up north from him.
I think Debray's guess is probably better. I'm not sure the mountains are this high where Flyme has his pin, although I can't say I'm 100% sure. But I think I'm not sure it's quite that mountainous.
Yeah.
Maybe it can be in places though. I'm not 100% sure. I'm wrong.
Oh, and it is! That might be game! Flyme with an insane guess, and he takes the no-move game, winning him the overall match. He has 2-0'd Debray.
Wow. What a game from Flyme. Not the start that Debray wanted to the league. Flyme keeping up the momentum. Really, really important win for him there. And apparently I need to lock in because I was making all sorts of wrong calls in that one. But Flyme with an amazing performance and a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, definitely. That's a pretty amazing showing there from Flyme. Debray, hopefully that was a bit of a warm-up and we see him come back later. But we'd love to see that from Flyme. I mean, went out in the Americas. He's back. He's didn't want to go out after that. That wasn't the end of him, and we're happy to see it. With that done, let's take a quick look at the schedule, see what else we've got going on for today, and what else happened during our first time slot. It seems like Clement got a 2-0 against Harrier, and Finbar got a 2-0 against Kent. Again, those are off stream, but if there are any good highlights, you'll see them in the highlight series on the YouTube channel. Next up, though, in about 10 minutes, we're going to have Pan versus V89 on the main stream. That's going to be a good one. Again, our second match will be Kent and Consis that we'll get to take a look at during that time slot. Let's take a look at our overall standings now that we've had a couple more games go down. Any thoughts, Jake? Anything you want to talk about here? You seen anything?
Well, Harrier has had a rough start. I think he's had 3 matches so far and hasn't managed to take a single game. So I think he'll definitely be disappointed in himself. He's a player he's an excellent player who's done a lot of grinding, a lot of preparation for this. So I would expect Harrier to bounce back at some point, but he definitely has to get that going soon because this league it's unforgiving and you can't fall behind too much. But Debray as well, starting 0-1, but that's just his first match. I'd expect him to bounce back too.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we can see a bounce back. All of these 40 players so deserving of being here. They all have a good chance at it. Well, with that, guys, we're going to go to a quick short break, get a snack, stretch your legs a little bit, use the restroom if you need to, and we'll come back for V89 versus Pan. We'll see you then. Chat, welcome back, everybody at home. I hope you had a good little break. But we're back. We're back. We're ready to go. It's going to be a good time. More games for you throughout the day. Strap in. It's going to be a good day. Let's take a look at our schedule for the day here, see what we already had happen, and what's going to go on next. So as we see here, Pan versus V89 is what we're going to take a look at first on the stream. And then I believe if we do have the time, we're going to take a look at Kent and Consis. That one's going to have a bit of a delayed start for us on the main broadcast to make sure we can take a look at as many matches as possible. Any thoughts on these, Jake?
Yeah, I think Pan versus V89 is going to be really interesting. These are two players who... So Pan is 2-0, and I believe V89 is 2-1 after the loss against Radu that we saw on stream last time. He got a nice win against Flyme last week, and then a win against Sadzu earlier today. So V89 is definitely locking in, and we're seeing his quality. And Pan he's played 2 matches, but he's undefeated so far. I think these are 2 players with fairly similar play styles, so it's going to be very interesting to see them clash. And then Kent versus Consis is going to be awesome as well. We haven't really seen them so far, or at least I certainly haven't. So can't wait to see how they match up as well.
Yeah, that'll be really great. It's gonna be exciting. We can take a look at our overall standings again, really briefly, just to check back up for anybody just joining us. Again, we have 20 weeks right now, 21 weeks actually, of games. As you can see there on the top, we are on only our 2nd week here, but already things have shaken out a bit. We have 2 players pretty confidently in the lead, but again, once we really get farther in, we'll get to really see, I assume, some point disparities and maybe who the best in the world is. Again, only our top 12 get a guaranteed slot in the World Cup this summer. So exciting, but good stuff. Let's, any thoughts before we head in really quickly to Pan V89, Jake? Anything so far you're thinking about?
I guess it's worth noting that when it comes to the overall standings, you're right that the top 12 automatically qualify for the World Cup, but part of that is the players that win the regional tournaments, I think, get like a massive points boost. So I think, of course, qualifying for the regionals is one thing, but I think it might even be a little more strict than it seems when it comes to the top 12 thing. I think there aren't going to be that many players who are directly qualifying just through that table that we just saw. So it's definitely going to be very, very competitive.
Yeah, it definitely will be. That table will be important also, though, for who gets to go to those regionals. But then again, there is going to be an open major later in the season as well, where players not in the top 12 will have another chance, as well as players coming from qualifiers from anywhere else. So exciting stuff. Lots of good things to come. I think this is a very cool format. I'm quite excited to stay with you guys every week and watch it all play out. It's gonna be good stuff. I think we're just waiting here for our players to get ready, but it should be fun. Castroller V89 going down last week to RC, I don't think was a great showing for him to have on that main broadcast. I think it'll be exciting to see him on the main broadcast have a good game here. Again, people have been waiting for him for a long time. People were expecting him to possibly even play in the first World Cup. People were like, well, he's great, like, he should play. Didn't play. Next year, didn't play. Now he's here. The 2025 season has started, and he's here, and he's ready to play. Let's take a look at Pan versus V89. They're in Round 1, game 1, moving.
So we had a town name called Stefanov, ending in OW. That OW town name ending is not exclusive, but very much more common in the southern half of Poland, whereas in northern Poland you would get OWO, which is OWO, and of course it ends up being right in the middle.
Right in the middle, 32. 32, V89, another Void player. I know, like, for instance, Moo is always playing in the dark. Seems V89 is the same, just like playing from the Void.
So both players moving here. I think both of these players are much more sort of no-move NMPZ inclined, so it wouldn't shock me that if on moving rounds with less information, they just won't bother and they'll just guess fast, effectively turning it into a no-moving game. Which is kind of what they're doing here. They moved around a little bit, but they both kind of just gave... Well, I thought they gave up, but Pan is right on it.
It seems Pan is right on it, as you said. I mean, that is a way to start the game. What a great guess there. I wonder what he saw, if he saw any information. You see quickly V89 doesn't even want to move around.
Yeah,
Pan doesn't either.
Neither player has moved. Yeah, they're not going to. Who needs it? It's Guatemala. They both know that. They see that unique Google car, and they just think, what the heck? Not worth the trouble.
And it works out for V89, guessing very quick. What, probably 5 seconds? Opened the map, got his guess down, and it worked out quite well. But still, pretty even here. Not too much to talk about in terms of their health. We move on to round 4. The multipliers are increasing here. 2.5 times damage now.
So this is the Philippines. This is a country where info is generally pretty common and also incredibly useful if you can find it. Yeah, V89 just not gonna worry about it. I don't know if the players know the provinces or not, but they'd rather play no moving, so that's basically what they're doing.
Your comment about them playing no move is just so apt for these two players. Some players who really aren't moving players don't care, to be honest. They get in the moving game and they say, okay, I'm just gonna look around, play this no moving. They make a couple moves down the street and they say, you know what? I'm better at no moving than moving anyways. I'm gonna play this like it's no moving. I already have a region guess in mind, or I just want to get this round over with. And they guess, they go next. Even V89 right now, again, in his next round, round 5, barely moves, has a region guess, gets it in there.
Yep. You know, it doesn't really feel like it's in the spirit of a moving game, but if you're able to do this and it works, it's like, why wouldn't you do it, you know? If the strategy benefits you, you should use it.
Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. V89 now down quite a bit compared to Pan, but again, multis racking up. We'll see how this plays out. We go to round 6. We seem to be in Mexico here. We have one of those octagonal pulls, as mentioned before on broadcast. Very common to see in Mexico.
They just don't bother. It's like, even now, he's basically playing no move. He's just looking around. He's not moving down the road, which is so different from what I would do if it was me. It's complete opposite playstyle. What a guess from V89.
An amazing guess from him. Wow, that's a big comeback. He takes the lead as we move on to round 7.
Back in the driver's seat 4 now, but so close with the multis racking up, it's still basically impossible to call a winner at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like our players are moving, but Pan already opening up the map. But he does opt to continue moving on, so he is going to try and find some info. V89, however, just trying to line up a bridge. He doesn't want signs. Bridge is all he needs.
Good luck with that, man. There are a lot of bridges in Sweden. That would be impressive if he finds the right one. But it is a pretty long bridge, so you never know.
It is. But yeah, go ahead. Check every lake in Sweden, V89. You got this. Every single one. It's doable. It is technically doable. Will he do it in the next 13 seconds? We'll see. Band's still moving around. They still both really haven't found any signs. We're just going to see some region guesses here, going off of vibes, going off landscape, whatever they can see.
Right between them. All right. Yep. Yeah, neither had much. I mean, Pan had one sign for a town, but I think it was quite a small one, so probably not easy to find either way.
Yeah. We're going to round 8.
See a more urban round to see how they can deal with it. He doesn't even care. He's not even going to scan. I mean, they've got town names right there. He doesn't even want to try.
He doesn't want to try. He just guesses and goes next. Pan ends up being closer there.
Well, there's not a lot of time left now. Round 9 of 10, and we're in Rwanda, which is not what Pan wants to see. Down 800 points.
Yeah, this is not much. They are moving, which is actually quite surprising to me considering what they've done so far. Now they're getting their guesses in. Now they're just gonna click middle.
So the sign says Kigali City on V89 screen, so it probably is close to downtown Kigali. So he may be a bit closer here. Oh, he's switching though. Pan has switched to Kigali. Yep.
V89 holds his lead. This is round 10 now. Again, we have a 10 round limit. So,
this is it.
Yeah, if we don't see much of a difference here in points, that's the end of the game. We are on a pretty massive bridge here. I do believe we saw a maximum and then a number sign for speed limit, which is a Canadian thing. That's how they do their speed limit signs. I believe I saw that.
And he has the town named Port Coquitlam, which I think is near Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like a suburb. At least Coquitlam is. I don't know about Port Coquitlam, but I think it might be in the same place. But it should be just close to Vancouver, I think.
Yeah, it would definitely make a lot of sense. We have some mountains. This general vibe, foliage, everything like that. Feels pretty indicative of a British Columbia guess here.
There it is right there on Pan's screen. I'm not sure he had the town name. Oh my gosh, V89 is not in Vancouver. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
This could be it. This could change the outcome. He switched, though. He switched.
He says switch.
Oh, there, he sees it. He found it.
He sees it. Is he going to find the port specifically? No, but he does see all the train tracks, which is definitely where we are. Yep, I think he might have just 5K'd right there.
I think he did. Yep.
He did. The 89, he drops the GG with an impressive 5K. The last minute find on the 5K. So impressive, and he barely moved around much, really.
Yeah, I'm really curious what would have happened if Pan had sent Vancouver quickly there, because it seemed like he had the vibe from the start, whereas V89 was on Vancouver Island for a bit, and that could have made the difference.
Yeah, it actually definitely could have. It would have been quite interesting. V89 could have ended up in Vancouver Island, and the game would have gone a different way. But now we're on no move. This is where our players here in this matchup particularly are most comfortable.
Yep. I think there was a URL that said Taranaki, which is it's a region in southwestern North Island. So we could be there, or maybe that was bait. I'm not sure. This does look like a fairly big city, but it could be like New Plymouth. Because that is where Taranaki is. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's just gonna click the mountain. There he is.
If we see those little yellow dashes there on Pan's screen on the side of the road, those can be quite common in New Zealand, as well as a couple other places. Ireland can have them, but definitely quite common in New Zealand as well, a good indicator. We did also see NZ on a big sign earlier, so that quite a good help as well. The players have half their guesses, it seems. V89 on it though.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually had the town name or if he just had the word Taranaki, but that is in fact the Taranaki region. So very, very nice guess from P89. Ooh, interesting. Oh, is this? Well, no, I'm not sure. This is going to be Chile, I think. We have this concrete road. You see a lot of this in like more southern Chile, and the white Google car is very Chile as well. But yeah, this Route 9 in the far south of Chile, near Tierra del Fuego, near Punta Arenas, is concrete like this, and it has yellow road lines, which we also see here. So I think both players are probably on the correct road here.
I agree. Right off of
off-road.
it. Off-road. God, I think the 9 would have had the yellow outer lines, and we had no outer lines, so maybe that's why it's that off-road, but great region guesses from the both of them. We going around
lines, they were just super, super faded, and I think, yeah, the 9 normally they show up a lot more prominently than that.
Yeah.
This one is interesting, though. I don't mind the Portugal guess. It's hard to tell because the pole, they have an electricity pole, but they can only see like the side of it. They can't see the front of the back, which might be hiding some information from them.
Yeah, because it looks like it could be a pole with some holes or at least slots in it like the Portugal pole would be, which is why we possibly see Pan going there. I do like the guess quite a bit. We'll see if V89 agrees. No, it doesn't seem like he does. It seems like he's looking at possibly an Italy or Greece guess based off of where his map is. No, he zooms out.
Is he in the water?
I think he's doing a little swimming. He's doing a little swimming.
May as well, right? Wants to stay alive. Not taking any risks.
Wow.
Going for it.
But
Portugal.
with 2 times damage, I mean, that's going to be some points. V89 does a little swimming. That's a massive deal of damage down to V89. Not committing to any country there. Seemed he was debating kind of just a lot of the Mediterranean and didn't pay off for him to just make a confident guess. Pan holds a huge lead now. Round 4, quick guess from Pan. No waiting around.
Mountain to the southwest. I suppose V89 knew he probably wouldn't lose if he was in the water like that, so he was just maybe trying to be as safe as possible, but it's definitely a risky decision.
Yeah, because Pan ended up having such a good guess there that it just, with the 2 times multi, it took down so much damage to V89. Nothing to write home about here in that little Italy round, though. We move on to round 5. We are now on 3 times damage.
Looks like a Peru here. It's a green Peru, so we have black and white signposts. Very good indicator of Peru within Latin America. He's going on the Iquitos Road, which is in the far northeast. We will see if V89 does the same. I'm not sure
I don't
he
know.
will.
I think Iquitos might be a little flatter. There are a couple hilly areas, so okay, it does pay off. Pan on the road, V89 just right off of it. That's 90 points still, but both players very close to each other.
Pan is locked in, by the way.
Very locked in. He went down that first game and he said, no. You're not going to win so easily, V89. I know we've been waiting for you, but they weren't even ready for me. I'm here to win.
Insta-sended Gaborone from V89, and same guess, basically. Which, yeah, that's the part of Botswana where you'll see the most mountains, so definitely makes a lot of sense for them to guess there.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Pan holding that lead, V89 really on his last leg here.
All it takes is one round, though. With multipliers this high, definitely don't count him out. This is a tricky round for sure.
Yeah, every round so important in this format. They both seem to be southern Norway here.
I like the guess. It makes sense with the sort of rockiness. Yep. Very nice guess
closer.
from both of them.
Yeah, great guesses. V89 takes 228 damage down to Pan. It's not much. Maybe it's a little helpful for the mental, if anything. We go on to our next round. We're getting in the thick of it. We are nearing the end. 4.5 times damage. Round 8.
This is going to be Japan. We have the low camera. The Google camera is a little bit lower to the ground than normal. And we have a pole top that is exclusive to Chugoku, which is that region in southern Honshu that V89 is in, and they are both in. And that is going to be close.
That's close, but that's 810 damage. V89 on 211 health now as we go into round 9. I will say with the multis, if Pan makes a big blunder here, V89 could win it, but as long as Pan stays as locked in as he has been, I think he takes this.
Still hard to call. I like the Gulf of California zoom. I think that makes a lot of sense with the landscape that we see here. And they are both, wow, they zoomed in on the same town, but V89's going back out now.
They're now in the same town.
Oh,
they found something that seems to have lined up. You got water straight south there like that with more... Yeah, you have those little islands or more land as well to the south past the water. So lining up something like this does make a lot of sense.
They may be on this. Although, did V89 move again? He may have. He's down near Guaymas now.
He did. I think he moved farther south. No, he's thinking about going farther up. I do like Pan's guess quite a lot. It would make sense with the way we see those little mountains past the water south. Yep, he's on it.
Locked in, man.
That
Wow.
takes him the No moving game, and we go on to NMPZ in the Pan versus V89 matchup.
What an incredible game there from Pan. Just such high-level gameplay. All of his guesses were so on point. And yeah, again, Pan, a player I knew almost nothing about coming in. But as I said earlier, these qualifiers, the players who got in through the qualifiers, some of them are so strong because they really had to prove their worth to get here. So we are really seeing the talent on full display here.
Yeah, we do love to see it. Again, like, we do have players who have been in previous World Cups or regionals, and it's recognizable, you know, we've seen them before, but both of these two players are brand new. They're making their appearance in the World League, and they're proving why they're here. Both players go Bogota, and it's 11 points.
So, why can't I hear the game audio anymore?
I don't know, I lost it too, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right. What have we got here? Urban Europe? Hard to tell where. Ukraine? Yeah, that could make sense. It's hard for me to read anything on the screen. Both thinking Ukraine, but Anna's pretty far west, right? Oh, never mind.
V89 considering Kaliningrad area of Russia.
Could work. I mean, very sort of more European-looking architecture, but Leningrad is a good shout for that as well. And now, just in Kiev, he's kind of just switching around between some of the cities. Neither of them is sure where to go here.
Yeah, it seems like Pan wants to go Lviv. I do like the guess quite a bit. Does make sense. I like Ukraine in general, so with the architecture like this, Lviv could make a lot of sense. We'll see if V89 stays where he is. It looks like he will. Wow. It is just
Vinnytsia.
Yeah, just Vinnytsia. That's 200 down to Pan. Nothing crazy.
It's always going to be difficult rounds like that. It's like, you know, you're probably in Ukraine. You can tell it's urban, but it's so hard to tell where. All the cities look so similar. Yeah, both players are going to have a very good idea here. We have red car and almost no vegetation, which is a great indication of this area in far northern Russia. But an excellent guess from Pan. Wow.
Very impressive.
Man, he is playing incredibly well right now.
He really is. We move on to round 4 here, 2.5 times damage. Again, we are an NMPZ, guys. This is the image they get. That's it. We do have a concrete road here, very common in the Philippines. Could be there. You do get concrete roads in Thailand, too. Some other places, but...
Yeah, I think with the poll that we have here, I think Philippines makes a lot of sense, unless I'm missing this, which is possible. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like the players are spending some time on this. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Okay.
We have a Mexico from V89. Pan. Where is Pan gonna go? He did open the map, but then went back in it. I do actually like Mexico. It's really hard on our screens to see exactly what that pull is, but it could be a Mexico pull.
It could be, yeah. I thought, you know, it looked like Asia to me, and I thought, well, with that pull, maybe in Asia it would have to be the Philippines, but I could see Mexico.
Wow! What an amazing guess from V89 in Oaxaca to take Pan down to 657 health. That is a huge lead now for V89.
The first slip-up we've seen from Pan in a long time, but what an incredible guess from V89. But it's not over yet. Again, another really nasty round here. This absolutely could end the game either way.
Yeah, this is difficult. We do have an Indo little swimming guess from V89. Pan looks a little confused, not too happy V89 guessed that quickly.
See where he goes. It looks like he will go Indonesia. But a more specific guess here from Pan. He's going even further east. Oh my gosh. Wow. He's gonna stay alive, I think. Yeah. Wow.
He does stay alive. They both seem to have done a little bit of swimming there, but Pan just a wee bit closer and decided to commit more to the Nusas.
He did move further east at the last second, though, so he's probably kicking himself for that, because he could have gotten some points there.
Yeah.
But he stays alive, just.
We do go in around 6 in what appears to be a turkey. Both players, I think they know it. At the very least, V89 does. He's locked it in.
Yeah, I would agree with the turkey guess, although it's going to come down to a region guess here.
I think that's a pretty big difference. That's going to be the game. V89 takes it.
Yep. Well, what a great comeback, especially after the dominant performance from Pan in the no move. 89 stayed locked in. He stayed. He knew he could still pull it off, and did an awesome job.
I mean, I do think realistically, from an analyst's perspective, that V89 is the better NMPZ player from what I've heard and seen so far. So him taking that, I guess, does make sense. But I mean, wow, what a matchup. Both players so amazing, showing why they made it through those qualies to get here.
Yep. Both players, I mean, some of the best in the business, absolutely. And players I would expect to be pretty close to the top of the table throughout this league. They're incredibly strong. Both of them still with winning records after that. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, amazing. And you know, they did make it to NMPZ, so V89 taking 2 points to his world ranking and Pan getting 1. So, you know, Pan didn't go home with nothing on that one. So he's going to be happy about that, which is very nice. I think if we have that other match going on here, we can take a look at how that's going. Kent versus Consis. It would appear that Consis so far has won his moving game, and it seems we're going to get to take a look at possibly their no move whenever that is prepared. Look how calm Consis is.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking as calm and collected as ever.
He's just ready to go. The Consis way. I wonder if he ate his melons today. Does anybody know my reference from the World Cup? Chat, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. We talked about it on the desk there, which was fun. Consis would eat a bunch of melons in the hotel breakfast every morning, and that was his little secret trick. Both World Cups, actually, I should say.
Oh, worked the first time, clearly.
It clearly worked the first time. I mean, again, Consis is our first ever world champion of GeoGuessr, winning the 2023 GeoGuessr World Cup very impressively. But you know, he's still in it. He did pretty well in the World Cup of last as well, back in September.
And here we go. After a little bit of a delay, we are getting into it. Not a surprise, I would say that Consis won the moving game. I would consider him the stronger of the two when it comes to moving. But both phenomenal no-move and NMPZ players, so this will come down to the wire. Great entertainment, honestly, in all these games. such good players, such even matchups. Just fun to watch.
It's so fun to watch. I enjoy it so much. Just the level of talent that we get to see from these players, the knowledge, the amazing guesses. It's always so exciting. Constance with a quick lock in there, Kent to follow, and they're right next to each other.
Yep. A similar area to that round that V89 and Pan had in southern Norway. Very similar look. You had that sort of rockiness on the side of the road. So both players opting for very similar guesses there.
Yeah, and 22 health. 22.
This is definitely tougher, though. We just have some trees. We will see what the players come up with here.
Yeah, there's really not much here to look at or even talk about. This is a difficult one. You do have Generation 4 camera. That's that more saturated looking camera quality. That can be helpful in some sense, helps you narrow things down. I'd say vegetation and things feels European. As you can see, Kent also kind of just zoomed in, generally looking at Europe, debating his guess. But otherwise, this is really a vibe guess when it comes down to it. We'll see where these players end up guessing. We have a Croatia here, possibly from Kent. Consis, not too sure yet.
Yeah, I like the Central Europe vibe. Croatia, I could see Hungary, I could see Austria. Yeah, Consis in Hungary, I like that guess a lot as well. And switching to Western Hungary now. We will see. Wow, it's Istria? Wow.
It is just going to be coastal Croatia. Wow, and Kent was in Croatia, but pretty far east. Would have gotten him a couple more points there. We do move on. Round 3, 2 times damage.
That was a crazy location. How is that coastal like
That
that?
was
Because that
crazy.
coastal area of Croatia is always so dry and rocky most of the time. That was a really crazy road. Anyway,
That was
back to
pretty
rural
insane.
Europe. This time a little more north. A lot of redness on the buildings in the distance, so the Nordic guess makes a lot of sense from Kent, and they're very similar areas of Sweden here. Definitely makes sense from both players.
Yeah, and Constance just ends up being a little closer, but really they were making the same guess there. Just sort of central, west of Stockholm. It made sense. It worked out. We go...
Oh, New Iceland.
Next.
Very cool. So Google drove Gen 4 car in Iceland very recently. So we get a lot of beautiful New Iceland coverage. They hadn't covered Iceland in probably over a decade before that. So really cool to see these landscapes in higher quality now. Not an easy country to reach and guess, though. So we will see what the players can come up with.
Yeah, there's really not much to go off of. No signs. But yeah, I do love seeing the new Gen 4 Iceland. It's always so beautiful, getting to see it in its glory.
Pretty similar guesses here. I think Kent is a little more north right now, but not by much. It's just pretty close to Reykjavik in the end.
Yeah.
Very little to separate them so far. Kent, of course, knows he needs to win this to extend it, get it to the NMPZ. Pressure's on him.
Yeah, but still not too much of a point differential between these two players. But 3 times damage again. We're getting into serious territory here.
Similar guesses again makes sense. I mean, this very flat, sort of red soil landscape is something you see a lot in eastern Thailand. I went a little more south than you might have expected, but
Still
again,
east.
Same idea.
Yeah. And we go on to our round 6. Quick pan around from the players. They both want to look the opposite direction from spawn, see what they can see. Nothing right off rip. Just looking around, one little sign there. It's a 1-800 number. That's not going to be too helpful, but it doesn't seem to be that we're in the
French.
US, maybe Canada.
It's
But
French.
it is French.
Yeah, the language on the yellow sign is French, so it should be Quebec, I believe. And it said
Imagine-
urgence and it said emergency, but the first language is French, so I have to assume that
Yes, then it should
that
be.
it's going to be Quebec.
Should be Quebec. Imagine reading. All I read was
He
the phone
didn't
number.
realize.
Oh, he didn't see the French.
Oh,
Ooh, wow, but they actually both end up being pretty similarly far apart. But of course, Kent closer because he is in Quebec, and with the Maltese gives a decent bit of damage down to Consus.
Now, you could see Kent's reaction there. He wasn't very happy because he knew it was Quebec because he saw the French, and it happened to be Western Quebec, which kind of saved Consus. If that was Eastern Quebec, Consus probably would have lost the game right there.
Definitely, which is pretty insane to think about. A lucky break there for Consus. Kent on top now, 5,000 health versus Consus's 3,700. Consus with a quick lock. Chile, Kent following suit. Chile as well. We shouldn't see too much here. They're both pretty much on top of each other.
Yep. Great guess from Consus, though.
Yeah, amazing Consus guess. He is a little closer. That's a decent bit of damage there.
Significant.
They've tied it up. They've tied it up, people. It's almost like we reset, but now we have multis.
Ooh, Jordan? Interesting. Yeah, you get a lot of this sort of dry, mountainous landscape you get a lot near sort of Wadi Musa, kind of Petra area, which is, I think, around where both players are right now. Pretty similar guesses.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be too much
Unlikely
again.
to see much damage here, but worth noting, we're getting close to the end of the game here. Only 2 rounds after this.
Yeah,
We're down to the
definitely
wire.
are. Kent really needs this game here if he wants to stay alive and at least take a point and then maybe win the NMPZ. So round 8, everything is on the line for him versus Consus right now. Kent
Nice
with
guess.
the closer guess, keeping him in it, and he takes a little lead now as we go into round 9. That's important for him. At most, we have only 2 rounds left.
Okay, well, Nigeria is going to be big here. This definitely could decide the game. This is a very tricky rural Nigeria around. You have that police follow car, this Toyota that you see following the Google car. That's what you'll see pretty much everywhere in Nigeria. It's a great clue if you're unsure about the country. But the region guess is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do anything impressive here with the little information that they have. Again, it is green, so south makes sense, but otherwise, I mean, you see these players looking all over. They are both now near Lagos, which is interesting.
Yeah, the Lagos guess is interesting. That's probably not where I would have been. The sort of hilliness would have made me think it's just a little more east than that. But Kent's pin is not there. He's a good deal further east. Oh, wow.
Wow, Kons is a little closer.
He takes the lead.
Wow, he takes the lead. This one round is now everything.
Impressive guess from Constance. I would not have thought that was Lagos State, so that's really well played by him there.
Agreed.
Here we go, round 10. What are we growing here? Marijuana?
Yeah, what is that?
It might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But they're trying to see what else they can find besides these plants. Constance seems to be zoomed in here pretty close on Cambodia Thai, right on the border.
This is it. Kent needs to be closer, but he doesn't need to be much closer. He just needs to make a slightly better guess, and that would be enough.
Yeah, basically whoever's closest on this, it wins. I really believe with how close these points are in the multi at 5.5. If you're closer at all, you win. They're both in tie, both pretty central tie as well. They're almost on top of each other.
If it's more oh my gosh.
Kons is closer, and with the lead and the closer guess, he takes our round 10, which wins him the game.
And brutal break for Kent, not only with the round limit, the fact that he, still had about 2,000 health left and doesn't get to use it, but also really brutal because that Quebec round where Kent had the French language on the sign, he knew it was Quebec and Constance was in the US, but the fact that it was Western Quebec kept Constance in it just enough and he was able to finish it off.
Yeah, a close game actually, so very impressive to see from both of them, truly. We'll take a look at our schedule here, take a look at what happened off of the stream. Moo got the 2-0 against Clement, Kratzu a 2-1 against Flyme. Seems like a lot of our games in this time slot really went the distance here. Kind of impressive. I mean, any thoughts, Jake, when looking at this?
Moo keeping up the momentum. Again, a player who I think is one of the best in the entire league and very underrated. So, yeah, it's great to see him proving his worth here. And then Kratzo, another player, probably would have been favored, I think, going into the match against Flyme. So, got the job done. Also in the NFPZ. Looks like we saw a lot of NFPZ tiebreakers here. But another great set of matches.
Yeah. Very impressive stuff all around. And we're going to have a little break in a second, but next up, when we come back, we're going to have Harrier and Debre on the main stream. Both players, no wins yet. Debre only playing one match, Harrier playing quite a few, both with no wins. This is really important for the both of them. And then I believe we'll be taking a look at Mata and Fao as well later on in that time slot. Here are our overall standings now. Taking a look at how everything's played out a bit, Constance has really moved up since the beginning of this stream, actually. He's now third. I believe he was at 8, so that's really good for him now. Coming in third place. Moo has also moved up. MK has also moved up. Jake, you seeing anything you want to talk about? Anything here?
Really impressive start from Constance. Not that we expected anything different, of course. 2023 World Cup champion, but yeah. You see he's won 8 of his individual games and only lost 1. So an excellent start for Constance. And yeah, I guess I pointed it out already, but Debre and Harry are, of course, at the bottom of the table. Both of them really going to be hunting for that first win in the next match.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that, guys, we're going to take you to another little break. Use the restroom, stretch your legs, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a good little break. Everybody's chilling. Maybe you enjoyed the music. There's kind of some bangers that get played during these breaks. I'm not gonna lie. But welcome back, guys. We're here. We're back, guys. I have my GeoGuessr sweater on today. Just thought I should show everybody how sick this is. Had to rep for the stream today. We're back. Yeah. We're here, we're ready to go, guys. Let's take a look at our schedule, what has gone down so far, and what's to come. We're gonna see Harrier and Debray pretty soon. Jake, talk to me, man. What are you thinking about this matchup?
It's gonna be good. Harrier, definitely not the start to the league that he wanted. He hasn't won a game, let alone a match yet. And Debray, of course, with the 0-1 start earlier against Flyme, also lost 2-0. So both of them definitely not the starts that they wanted, so they're both going to be as, determined as ever to try and bring this match home. But Debray is more of a known quantity. We've seen him in the World Cup twice before. We know how strong he is. Harrier has kind of risen out of the... Well, I don't know. He's shown up recently, and we haven't really seen him on the top stage before. So it's been a rough start for him, but that does not mean that he does not have the quality to compete at this level. It's just a tough start, but I think he can come back from this.
I think so too. We get to take a look at our World League standings as well. Take another look here at those. Impressive, as we can see. But again, we're only on week 2, so Blinky, RC Consist, Moo at the top. Impressive, deserved. But again, week 2, this is going to go on for 21 weeks here, as you see up there under Match Sundays. So the points are really going to rack up, and as we get farther along in this, things will really show who's the best, who's our top 12. And we are ready to get into Debray Harrier. They have started us off right on time with the moving round 1.
Looks like a Germany here. I want to say the sign Debray had the word Köln on it, which is the German name for Cologne, but I'm not sure if it was trustworthy or not. But he doesn't seem to be paying too much attention to that. We'll see if either player is able to find anything else here. Germany, a pretty good country for moving. You'll get a lot of clues. Town entry and exit signs will have subdivisions on them if you're able to learn them. But he is clicking Cologne, so that is what he ends up settling on here. We'll see if Harrier has anything. I'm not sure if he's seen much.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen much. It just seems like he's trying to find whatever he can in the last second here, but he's going to go in a similar area. With Debray, if it is Cologne, going to be closer. Oh, they both are in Cologne. Looks like Harrier had a little more space plonk down into Cologne. It works out for him. 22 points.
Ibadan, it says it's a very large city in Nigeria. I have to assume that both players know what Ibadan is.
Yeah.
Debray sees it and sends immediately.
The insta-scented Harrier, maybe not read it.
That also says Ibadan. There he goes.
Yep. Now he finds it. He finds it on the second sign. It works once again. Both players just right there. Harrier a little closer.
Well, very little separate him so far. Realistically, the game's not going to come down to region guesses within cities, so I think, yeah, rounds like this might make a little more of a difference. This looks like urban Ukraine. There was an area code there. I wonder if... Ooh, does Harrier know them?
Does Harrier know? I wonder if either of our players could read this either.
Oh, that says Kharkiv.
Oh, yep, it did. Debray sees it. Quick guess, 2 times damage. That's 1,800 down to Harrier. Going into round 4, Harrier not looking happy about that, but you can see him hyping himself up, locking back in.
I have to assume Harrier misremembered the area code there, because you could see his reaction. He was like, wait, what? And then he was like, did a little bit of thinking, and then he was like, oh yeah, it's that one. So I think he just missed that.
Understandable.
Speak
now,
Jordan. We have
something
water
like that
to the west.
happens. Something like that happens, you never forget. So if he gets it again, it'll be good. Yeah, we do have Jordan there, and we have an impressive, quick 5K lining up the water from Debray.
Beautiful guess from Debray there. Yeah, fairly easy to line up. I mean, you can tell it's Jordan from the car and the road lines and stuff, and then you have the water to the west, which is that sort of Dead Sea area, so there's not too much to scan. Really, really well done from Debray.
And I am
Russia,
happy.
by the looks of it.
A little, yeah, a
Sorry?
little urban Russia. No, no worries. I was just gonna say I am also very happy to see Debre in the league because I did have a chat with him after the World Cup and he wasn't sure if he was gonna continue. So I'm very happy to see he is. We do have a Kaliningrad here, quick from Harrier. Debre in Donetsk
This is
in
a
Ukraine.
huge difference.
That's a
Wow.
massive difference. Debre shocked at that and he loses off that.
I'm really curious what Debre saw or thought he saw. I don't know if it was just the general, like, more European look of the architecture in combination with the black car. He thought that could be Donetsk. But of course that works as well for Kaliningrad. I believe Harrier saw Kaliningrad on an ad, on a sign, so he was confident, but Debre definitely taken aback there.
Yeah, he does still seem calm though, which is good, but you know, not what you want to see. I was just mentioning him considering staying in it, and you know, he did. I'm happy he did. He's here. One little blunder is not going to get him down.
Yeah.
But
It's
now
definitely
we're
a
in
blow
the
for
move.
Debre, though, because he, again, I think Debre's a very, very balanced player. I would say more so than Harrier. He considers himself a very good moving player, so I think losing the moving to Harrier is definitely not what Debre expected to happen.
Agreed, 100%. I think Debre is the overall more balanced one, and he was playing so well in the other parts of that game.
Both
Yeah.
players know that this is Chile, but not an easy one to reach and guess.
Yeah, it does seem it should be pretty far south, at least relative to Santiago or like the Atacama Desert, pretty far south because it's quite green. Again, as you go down, Chile gets more and more green, and then much more deserty as you go north. Debre pretty far south, Harrier as well, but a little farther north, I believe, if I'm reading that right. But I think they're both pretty close to each other.
Yeah. There's a bit more north than that.
Bit more north, 140 down to Harrier. We go next.
Australia, urban, we're on a highway. So you have these like eucalyptus trees, we're driving on the left, the white lines, all very good clues for Australia. It wouldn't shock me if we're near a large city here, that would be my guess, but is it Brisbane, is it Sydney, is it Canberra, is it Melbourne? That's a little harder to say.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at the license plates, which is a good strategy because the states do have specific license plates.
We have a
Harrier
Victoria,
going
I guess. Harrier. Debre seems to be zoomed in on New South Wales. But is he keeping it there? We'll see. Looks like he's gonna go Sydney.
Sydney, yeah. With
And
the red
Harrier.
car, I'm not sure I like Victoria or South Australia with the red car. I think I prefer New South Wales, like a Sydney or a Canberra.
I like it as well. Harrier staying in Victoria, pretty near South Australia. No real big multi yet, but it is 1.5 times damage. It is just Melbourne. Harrier looks a little confused at that. He is still closer though. Takes a decent bit of damage off of Debre. As we go into our third round here.
Fair enough. I stand corrected about the car. But yeah, Melbourne. I mean, makes sense. It makes sense that it's in the metropolitan area, the larger city there. With the way that it looks, this is interesting. So this is Malaysia. We have the black and white signposts are much more common in Malaysia than Indonesia. We have sort of Malay-looking language here as well. So all of that checks out for Malaysia. But
Both seem to be looking in mainland, which is interesting.
yeah, it looks weird, like maybe too weird for. I don't know. It definitely looks unusual for Borneo, although it's certainly possible. But I like the mainland guess as well.
Yeah, it does make sense. They all seem pretty far north too. Both very close to each other. It is quite far north. That is a Harrier win again. If Debre wants to stay in these, he's going to have to lock in a bit. The multis are rising, which is good for him. He does need that because he is down about 2k here as we get into only round 4. It's a pretty big point differential for only being in round 4. Our players do seem to be in Mexico now. It seems pretty far north. I would say somewhere Mexico City and up because it's sandy, mountainous, short vegetation. Is Debray lining up a road here? It seems like he might be. Is he confident? We'll see.
I wonder, yeah. You said big point differential. This is big country, big points here, so Debray definitely with a chance to take some points off of Harrier, especially if he can find the road, but that's going to be hard to do, but I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either. Debray with a pretty quick lock, putting the pressure on Harrier. It's not getting to him. Harrier's taking his whole 15 seconds here to debate what he wants to do. He's keeping it right there. Nueva Leon. They're both pretty close to each other. Harrier a little closer again.
Very consistent start from Harrier here in the no move. Debray, I mean, he's under a lot of pressure here. Again, he doesn't want to start 0-2. Especially 0-4 in terms of games, so he definitely knows he has to step it up right now.
He sure does. He seems sort of confident. He already zoomed in quick. Again, we did have a massive turkey flag there. Obviously going to be a big help. It's pretty green, you can see, even though it's urban. And you do see mountains like that straight south, so the north of the country makes quite a bit of sense. Hare opting pretty kind of near Istanbul now. Debray seems farther east.
It is. Harrier again.
Harrier with 3 times damage. That's a massive blow to Debray's health. Debray is on his last breath right now. 233 health to Harrier, almost full.
Kyrgyzstan, this is not what Debray wants to see. I mean, I don't know how good he is at Kyrgyzstan, but you don't really want to be in a small country right now with the health the way it is. Debray needs this.
You definitely do not. Debray possibly trying to line up a road. He is a big mapper. Debray has a map called A Balanced World, and I know a lot of his practice lately has just been working on updating that map and not a lot of playtime. So maybe if he's been looking at any of the Kyrgyzstan coverage, maybe he knows these roads. It's a very common mapper thing to know specific roads. So we'll see here. He locks in something.
So he's gone for the gorge south of Karabalta. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm not great with Kyrgyzstan. Debray is south of Bishkek, so they're not in the same place. This could end the game if Harrier has it.
They're quite far apart here.
Oh, it's close.
It's
really
close. Harrier's closer, though. That's going to be the
That's
win for him. That gives Harrier a 2-0 versus Debray. His first match win in the league, and an impressive one at that.
You see the emotion from Harrier when he knew that he'd won the match. It's been such a tough start for him to the league, and he knows he has to step it up going forward, and that's a huge win and a massive boost for his confidence.
Definitely. Debray now, though, is down, won both of his games, so, you know, maybe it's the warm-up, maybe he did play very well today, but in the end, it just lacked a tiny bit of consistency, it seemed, and just those multis racking up, a couple little blunders. But I think this is a good warm-up for Debray. This is not the end for him, but I love seeing a comeback from Harrier. That's great to see as well.
Yep, definitely a bit of a surprise start, I think, for Debray, but we certainly have not seen the last of him, so yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Most definitely. I think he made some of the, honestly, most impressive guesses we have seen today. A lot of 5Ks, but just not going the full distance. So we'll see how things pan out for him. I believe that's it for him today, but he'll be back. He'll make a comeback. I believe in him. And I believe we do have another match going on here. I'm not sure if it's ready or not, but I believe we get to take a look at the foul match, Mata. So yeah. We're taking a little wait right now. They're gonna start the match quite soon. But you know, in the meantime, it's been an exciting day. I think Foul Mata, you have any predictions for that match? Any thoughts there?
It's a tough one. I think Mata had a 2-0 win earlier today. And then I think Foul, if I'm not mistaken, and then I think Foul earlier when I was casting last night, I think he had a little bit of a rough time of it. So, they're starting right now. Okay. So we will see. I think again, two players who are, I think, very evenly matched overall. So this one really could go either way.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we haven't seen maybe the Foul performance that some people might have expected, but I also think Foul is one of those players that almost needs the pressure of going down. Yeah. So he's one of those players, you don't see too much, and then all of a sudden he's down, you think he's out, and that's where he shines. So maybe he needs to go down a bit at the start of the league and then make a comeback. I think that's part of the FAO plot. It's the FAO lore right there.
It is an admirable quality to have, but I don't know how he does it, but it seems like the more pressure is on him, the brighter the lights are, the stronger FAO becomes. So yeah, maybe the pressure of having lost a couple of matches so far is really going to help him lock in. We'll see.
Both players Cambodia here, and FAO a tiny bit closer. Nothing to write home about as we go on to the next round. Motto with a haircut. You see that?
Yeah.
Had a haircut since last weekend. W haircut in the chat.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe a lot of the players have had haircuts, but last week half of them were avatars, so we don't even know.
True. The cameras are fixed, chat. We have to show some love for getting the cameras fixed. We love that. We are in round 2 here. 1.5 times damage in Bangladesh. Summit Gen 4. We have language as well. Very helpful stuff. They are going to move around. Do either of these players read Bengali? I'm not sure.
FAO, yes. Mata, I'm not sure, but I play with FAO in the French league quite often, and he definitely can read Bengali. His guess here is very far west, so I have to assume that he's found something.
It would make sense. Yeah, he's quite deep west there. Mata opting for just the center. Go next guess. It works out great for FAO.
Yep, really nice guess from FAO. He certainly found some info there, some town name or district name that he was able to read, and used it to his advantage.
Yeah, round 3 now. 2 times damage. Multis making their way up. Players are off to the races to find whatever information they can.
This looks like Urban Russia, which even on 2x damage can be super consequential. Does it say anything there? I'm not sure it does. I didn't see a city name. Looks like Mao probably... Mao? Mauda probably didn't either. Oh gosh.
The Mata FAO collab. Mao.
Is that?
We love it.
Those are city names there.
Those are city names in a map.
Yeah, I just can't. It might say Ekaterinburg. I can't quite read it. The screen is too small. But FAO does not have the same info that Mata does. And he's shaking his head because he knows if Mata is sending in Urban Russia, he's probably found something.
He probably has. FAO, not happy.
He's just hedging, but I think he's pretty close.
he is very close. The random hedge works out well for him, but Mata with an amazing guess based off of that sign. It works out for him. But
Mata's got to be shaking his head like, what the heck? Like, his pin's not even in the city, and he's just right there. What the heck,
just
man?
the middle of nowhere. And it worked. I mean, okay, FAO holding his lead still. Round 4. A quick zoom. Quick zoom here from Mata too, actually.
Yep.
Are they close to each other? I actually didn't see. I think they are. Oh, they're in the same town here. If you take a look there on the map. FAO considering switching.
Yeah, well, you have the low camera, which indicates Switzerland, and then Italian language really narrows it down quite a lot, because there's only one canton in Switzerland that speaks Italian.
And there it is. FAO closer. They're just one town away from each other. Model locking in. I love when you get to see the players talking to themselves a little bit, you know? Hyping themselves up.
Yeah.
You're in such a competitive environment like this, things like that will come out.
Yeah, a lot of the players are very animated. Mata's one of the most animated for sure. He's definitely fun to watch play.
Agreed.
Let's see here. Argentina, they're zooming into slightly different areas though. Mata, I think, a little further south at the moment.
Yeah, in the San Juan province here, opting to just sort of go in the capital of the province, locking it in. FAO still debating.
And there's a sign, but I don't think it has much on it. But FAO is a little more north in Catamarca right now. And a great guess.
Wow, amazing guess there from FAO with 3 times damage. That's a huge hit to Mata's health. Mata not happy about that. We go on to the next round. Mata's got to make a big comeback. You just planted that little seed in my mind. The Mata FAO combo.
To slip into, yeah.
And there we are. Round 6, 3.5 times damage. Appears to be a Bolivia, maybe a Peru.
Yeah, probably one of those. It's hard to tell. Maybe northern Peru could make sense, like a Pura area with this vegetation. But hard to tell. They're both going to be looking for a city name. Does Fao have something?
Mata.
Looks like Mata did. He made he may have seen the word Pura. Yeah.
He did. It was on that little like graffiti or art there on the wall. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but it did say that town name. It seems like Fao is making that guess also. They're gonna be on top of each other. Nothing to write home about as we go straight to the next round. A little 10 damage to Fao.
One of the most distinctive parts of Peru, with that sort of dry, sort of shrubbery. Definitely, a lot of Peru is really hard to tell apart, but Pura is one of the easier parts, at least to get the right region. Ukraine, Mata with the insta-send. He probably just wants to, he wants to shake it up a little bit, wants to get some health back, so I don't hate the strategy from him here.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the way people change their playstyle, just based on what round it is and how much health they have.
Yep. Not a bad guess from either one, but it's not going to be enough to make a difference for Mata.
Yeah. We go on to the next round here, round 8. Multis are big. Could be anyone's game, considering the 4.5 multi and moving. Who can find the information?
So it looks like we're in Spain, and he has a road number abbreviation. Yeah, and it's going to be Mallorca. It was MA.
That's
going to
be really big for
Fao has the
Mata.
vibes, but if he goes mainland, this could be major, major damage.
I think it could be. He knows.
He's found it.
Oh,
it's Malaga. They saw MA and they thought it was Mallorca. Oh no!
Wow, the wrong MA. Both players.
Wow.
You could see them get a little shocked there by that. Round 9.
Oh wow! So they both have Ondo State. Fao immediately knows what Ondo is, and Mao's. Oh my God, Mata's got it as well. It's just Mao now, apparently.
Yeah,
oh man,
because they both got it. Mao saw it.
Yeah.
Because I'm
gonna say Fada before long.
Yeah. Mix it up. They're both there. This shouldn't be too much. Round 9. This means round 10 is really gonna be it.
Yep.
They're both there. That's nothing. It's a little 5. 5, chat. 5 damage.
5.
We go round 10. Fao with a massive lead. Even if Mata gets a closer guess here.
He's going Acre.
He goes
Insta-send.
Acre quick.
I don't hate it. I mean, look,
he doesn't
round
like
10,
it.
the instant, it's Roraima, but Mata is not super happy with himself. I was in Roraima, so this is going to end it either way.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's a round limit, but yep.
Finishes it off for Fao. Regardless of round limit, Fao with a great guess, but Mata making that guess probably because of round limit, considering his health there. Said, my only chance is a quick guess that I end up being right and I throw Fao off. Does not end up working out for him. Fao, amazing guess, wins him the moving game, and we move to no move. Mata versus Fao.
If that was not round 10, Mata absolutely would have played that round differently. So that he definitely changed his strategy. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we reset. We're in no move. Our players are on full health, no multis.
Mata probably with a lot of regrets right now, given how that last match went. Because there were definitely a couple of points where, there was the Malaga, the Spain, Mallorca mix-up, and then there was also that Russia round where he had the info, and Fao just happened to click right next to Yekaterinburg. So
yeah,
we'll see here.
This
is urban game. Brazil. We have these sort of segmented kind of ladder-looking polls, which you get in Brazil. But as for the region guess, going to be a lot tougher. Both players opting for Northeast Coast, but they are in different cities at the moment.
Yeah, there are some signs there. They didn't seem to be too important.
Yeah.
But they're just getting whatever vibes they can. It's kind of like a foggy town, which is interesting. But it would make sense for coastal.
I think, is Faust still in Salvador? I'm not sure. Oh, he's in Recife now. Oh, they both are?
They both
Wow.
are. That's
all.
Natal. Wow. That's not going to be much points. Quick little 6 round 1. Look at all these little small point rounds. We love it.
Yeah, they both have this sort of coastal vibes, but when it's just a city, it's really often quite hard to tell which one you're in.
Yeah, it can be difficult. No move. Quick guess in Bulgaria from Mata, not wanting to wait around.
I like the guess. He saw the electricity pole in the distance, and it does look quite plausible for Bulgaria.
We have
also the same one, but he's not in the same place.
Wow, it is just Bulg. Mata with that quick guess, the quick pressure, got to Fao. He deals a decent bit of damage down to Fao in round 2.
Yeah, Mata saw the pole in the distance, and he was like, okay, that's a Bulgarian pole, not going to do anything more, just going to click middle, Bulgaria, and hope that he doesn't see it. Very well played.
Very, very well played. We go to round 3, 2 times damage in Australia. Mata quickly in the Western Australia, trying to consider what road. You see him moving around a lot. Fao in New South Wales. Big country, big points, Jake.
This is interesting. Yeah, I guess my first thought would have been Western Australia because of all the red soil, but of course you get red soil in the entire outback, so Fao's guess is definitely possible too. It's just, well, it's hard to say. He's considering switching, but it looks like he may leave it in New South Wales.
Yeah, and he leaves it.
Western it is.
Wow, with 2 times damage, that's going to win him the game. We move to NMPZ. The celebration from Mata there on the camera, you love to see it. The hype. Fao, you could see him on his camera as well, kind of not feeling too good about his guess even before the round ended. And Mata does take it. We get an NMPZ chat. Let's go.
We'll see if Fao can lock in. The pressure is the highest. Game 3 NMPZ.
Yeah, I mean, it is what we said. He sometimes needs the pressure, so...
Yep. Maybe this is exactly what he needs. We will see. This is weird round 1. I thought maybe Southwest France is exactly where Fao is zooming in.
I like it a lot. It feels sort of coastal, too. I don't hate Portugal either. Like, it feels Portugal, Spain, France to me.
Yep.
If it... Oh, we have an Albania zoom possibly from Fao.
Albania would be very interesting. I did not think of Albania here, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think I like his
Southwest France
one.
but at Portugal, I could easily see as well.
This is interesting. It ends up being coastal Croatia. Fao a little closer. That gives a pretty decent deal of damage for a round 1 there, down to Mata. I mean, really all we had was a tiny bit of architecture and some very coastal Mediterranean-looking trees, so those guesses did make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now taking it, we go round 2.
Sometimes you can kind of tell these locations are handpicked because some of these are pretty devious. Like that one, Croatia's a really tough place to send on a round like that.
Definitely agreed.
Another tough round, just kind of middle of nowhere rural Europe here.
And we do a Fao, like, confidently in Czechia, but considering other things. Mata following suit, but now in Slovakia. We'll see what happens here. Fao with the lock. Says Czechia's my best bet. Mata's got to follow.
Yep. Both going for Czechia, and it's the right idea.
And he does, and it works. But that's still Fao closer, holding his lead. Mata down quite a decent bit of points, especially considering how early we are in this game.
This looks like the U.S. Pacific Northwest. Yep, I agree. Whoa.
We have a Mex from Mata and a U.S. from Fao. Fao confidently.
But the defense, yeah, definitely. Oh, man. I'm not sure, but I like the Washington guess here.
Yeah, it's difficult. I don't hate Mex. I do think I prefer, personally, the U.S. guess. We'll see if it works out. It is just Oregon. That's probably going to win him the game. Fao will take the entire matchup 2-1.
Like we said, pressure was on and Fao locked in.
Yeah,
great
needed
guess
the pressure
in the U.S. He definitely needed that win. You know, it's and with how how tight it is at the top of the league and how difficult it's going to be to end up in that top 12. Every player needs as many wins as they can get, so that's a huge result for FAO.
Yeah, it does seem in some sense like, oh, we have so many games, they're not that important. No, every single matchup means so much because you have so many weekends of play. Every single point that you can earn is really going to make the difference throughout these 21 weeks.
100%.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the schedule really quick, see what went down. We did see a malfunction, 2 overs pan off stream. Any thoughts on that?
Wow. I mean, Malfunction, incredible player. Also, again, very underrated. People don't realize just how good she is, but 2-0 over Pan is a statement because Pan, again, has played so well up to this point. And yeah, Malfunction, especially after, I think losing 2-0 earlier today, that's a huge bounce back for her, and that's a statement result for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very impressive because, yeah, Pan has been playing so well too, so really good stuff. Again, we saw the Harrier 2 overs Debray just earlier on the stream here, and the FAO Mada just finished up. This is what's gone on so far today. Next up, though, on the main stream, we're going to be taking a look at Finbar versus Ocean Man. Any thoughts there?
I love this matchup as well. I think Finbar, we saw Finbar at the World Cup in 2024, a player who has improved massively over the past year or so and continues to only get better. I think he's 2-0 so far, and maybe he's 1-0, but I don't think Finbar has dropped a game yet. So he's been absolutely locked in so far. And Ocean Man has been a surprise. I think I mentioned before that he's not a player I really expected to be in this tournament at all. I didn't realize how good he was, but he has been great so far. I mean, I was casting some matches last night. He won both of the matches that he played last night. So he is really in his element right now. And I think Finbar versus Ocean Man is not a match that we've seen before, but I think it could be a really good one.
Yeah, agreed. It's a bit of that like old player. Like Ocean Man's been around for a long time in the community. Those like long-term members of the community here now sort of in a sense like making a comeback. Again, a little unexpected to see him making it into the league. For some people, he's been kind of moving in silence for a bit, and then bam, I'm back. You forgot about me. Very impressive. And then Finbar as well. Again, we did see him last year. So really exciting match to come. Guys, again, short break. Chill out a second. Maybe it's snack time for you. Maybe it's dinner time. I don't know. Enjoy. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the break. We're ready for our final slot of the day. Jake, how are you feeling?
Feeling great. Feeling great. Time's flying. It's a good time.
Feel like it's been a good day?
It has been a good day. We've seen a lot of amazing gameplay. That's the thing. It's gonna be like that every week. Every day, every time. It's just gonna be amazing gameplay, and it's a pleasure to be able to watch and bring it to you guys.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what's gone down in some of that amazing gameplay here and what's to come. We're going to see Finbar versus Ocean Man, and the Captain MK game is getting a delayed start so that we can watch as much of it as possible as well. So we're getting Finbar Ocean Man, and then Captain versus MK. Gonna be exciting.
It sure will. Yep.
Let's take a look at our overall standings right now. Take another look over there at those. Again, we're early on in our World League, so not too much has gone down, but Blinky and RC still holding that pretty confident lead. Consus and Moo right on their tail, and MK, depending on what happens in his game we see later, could continue to move up.
Yep, absolutely. And we see Finbar. Also, he's in the match coming in. He's in 14th, despite the fact that he only played 2 matches. His score is perfect so far. He's won 4 games and lost 0. So he's definitely going to be interesting to watch. And Captain as well with a really good start. So we get to see him against MK. That's going to be another really fascinating matchup.
Yeah, I'm quite excited. And I like that you mentioned Finbar there. Though he's in 14th, he has only played 2 games and has 2-0'd in both of them. So very impressive. Again, some have played more matches than others. So let's see how he fares now against Ocean Man.
See if he can stay flawless. Worth
We'll
noting,
see.
Finbar is an excellent moving player. Again, not somebody who people know as a moving player primarily, but he is extraordinary. I've played him in moving before, and he's better than you'd expect for sure. And of course, he's also extremely good at no moving. I think he may have an area code. I can't see because it's blocked by the thing that says locked in, but he may be locked in.
Yeah, he may be locked
code.
in on the right guess. Ocean Man also in Tocantins, but farther north.
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Works out very well there from Finbar. That's 937 down to Ocean Man.
Again, we see that ability of Finbar, again, with the moving experience, going very quickly and able to find that info. He did a really good job with that, and it paid off for him.
Yeah, round 2 now, 1.5 times damage. Players off quick. I'm noticing Finbar is one of our few players we've seen today who's really using fast move to his advantage. Not all the other players have been really doing that.
So we had on the bins, it said Chukurova Belediesi, which means Chukurova municipality. I have no idea where Chukurova is, but oftentimes those municipalities are towns that are findable on the map. We'll see if Finbar decides to scan for it, if he just goes for the region guess. Looks like he's moving at the same time as he's scanning, which is a big brain move there. But
that is a big brain move. That's a common moving player, I guess, strategy,
Adana.
you could
Yep.
say. Oh,
He's got a
Adana
sign for
there.
Adana.
That's quite helpful. Ocean Man farther east of Adana. We'll see. Town is saying Adana's to the east, so very good guess there from Finbar. Great sign find. It works out well for him. Ocean Man already on 4,388 health, and we're only on round 3.
Once again, with Finbar, you see the moving experience coming into play. The way he was able to get to that information and use it efficiently. That's something that a lot of these players, you won't see that from them. You'll see players play at rounds that are effectively no move, or they'll send really quickly, or they will go the wrong way. But Finbar is, again, a much better moving player than most people realize.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing that, and I love that we're seeing that. He's getting whatever information he can. He's moving around quick. Ocean Man not moving around as quick. You see Ocean Man even right now kind of just stopping and taking a look around, playing it a bit like it's no move, and then proceeding to move. Finbar opting to just move as fast as he can. What can he find? But he hasn't found much. You get to this point in a round, only 15 seconds left. There's not much else you're going to find. You just make a region guess.
Finbar did find a bin again. It said something like Chihan Bailey, I think, but again, I don't know what that is, and looks like he doesn't either, so... Wait, Ocean Man doesn't have a pin down. He got 1 second.
Oh, did he get it in there?
Did he get it? He did.
He got it in, and it's close, but Finbar even closer. What impressive guesses with so little to go off of.
Finbar didn't look surprised, so maybe he did actually find that, and maybe Ocean Man got lucky? I don't know. But Chihan Bailey was right there. That was crazy.
That was some sort of round.
And Ocean Man's pin was in Egypt with about half a second left, so...
Yeah.
So again, Finbar finding that info. It's the Cidade Rio de Janeiro, which, of course, well, we all know what Rio de Janeiro is, but the thing is, Ocean Man doesn't have that info, and he's going to go in Sao Paulo.
He's going Sao Paulo, and that's a bigger distance than you'd think just from looking at the map. So that's 2,000 points down. Finbar flawlessing currently. Ocean Man in the yellow here, 1,900 health. We move on to Kyrgyzstan. We see Finbar looking at the map while moving. Very nice.
Yep. I gotta say, Finbar, he's putting on a clinic right now. Just amazing gameplay. And again, it's cool for me to see because this is exactly how I play as well. So I'm seeing him play the same way and use this playstyle so impressively well, and it's cool. It's cool to see for sure.
Yeah. Is he lining up a road? It would appear he is.
Bushman again has not zoomed in. He's just kind of trying to get a feel for the landscape. He's going towards Jalalabad here.
Wow.
Yeah, Finbar, man. Look at
Finbar with such an impressive guess. You see him jamming out to his tunes too, but it's worth noting Ocean Man didn't line anything up, and he was still very close.
Yeah, Finbar's got that, the Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo or whatever it is, but he could not be more locked in right now.
We're on
Which is so interesting.
6.
I cannot play with music. It is incredibly distracting to me, and I am impressed by the people who are able to do that.
Yeah, it seems to really help some people, and some people it's quite distracting. I definitely really like music going.
Yeah. It's so interesting how different people are and how differently their brains work. Anyway, the pole top here, I think, is Kansai, which is where Finbar's pin is. So Kansai is the region that has like Kyoto and Osaka in it. I think Finbar's guess is probably quite good here. Ocean Man, once again, hasn't zoomed in. I'm not sure if he has much, but he is also going Kansai. Similar area.
Yeah, they seem close.
Finbar found something.
Finbar moved down south a little bit. It pays off.
Closer.
He continues to flawless with 3.5 times damage. That's 616 health. Ocean Man not looking too happy with how this game is going.
Yep. The difference in moving experience is definitely showing here.
Definitely. We have a Malaysia by the looks of it. That looks like a very Malaysian sign for towns and everything. That looks like some great information there from Finbar. He's just gonna hope that Ocean Man did not see it, and Ocean Man hasn't. So he just has to guess whatever he can. Where is he gonna go?
KLIA is Kuala Lumpur International Airport, so that's maybe what he sees.
Wow.
Yep.
It works out. They end up being pretty equidistant, and Ocean Man breaks Finbar's flawless.
Yeah, so it was in the right state. So Finbar had the state Negeri Sembilan, but he sent in the middle, and it happened to be on the border, quite close to Kuala Lumpur.
Round 8 now. This is where it gets quite serious. Finbar still with a massive lead here. He zoomed in quick there to the border of Romania and Bulgaria. We do see some signage here. Can Finn read this?
Oblast Varna. He certainly can read Cyrillic. It says Oh no, it says Varna. Wow, my brain. Somehow I read that as Barna. Yes. So that says Oblast Varna. Varna being that large city. So Ocean Man has the same sign, but does he have? I don't know if he was able to find the same info that Finbar did.
Looks like he did not. Finbar closer, but Ocean Man a good region guess. I mean, Finn's really showing how good of a moving player he is. This is quite impressive.
I'm actually really impressed. He's found info in almost every round, and he's used it perfectly. Super efficiently. He's, yeah.
Amazing
Really
showing
impressive.
here from Finn.
There's no way he knows Landkreise, right? So we're in Germany. We have a lot of the town entry signs will have second level subdivisions written on them. The problem is there's about 450 of them. So yeah, Vogel, yeah, I guess Freiensteinau is probably the Kreis. So those are learnable, but the problem is they're kind of a pain to learn. So not a lot of players have done it. We'll see. Finn is scanning very southeast right now. Einstein, does he know that?
I don't know. They do both have the same sign right now. So we'll see.
Wonder. I haven't learned these myself, so I don't know where Freiensteino is, but we'll see if one of them does.
5 times damage. The timer ticks.
Do
Finn
it.
still closer. That's
Never
gonna
mind.
not take him the game.
Man, my math has been awful. I apologize to the
okay.
viewers.
It's
Oh, man.
okay. We should have been on 213 health in round 10. It would be quite difficult for him to take this.
Especially in
if it is
Estonia or
here.
wherever we are. That's unfortunate round limit moment. But at the same time, I think that Finbar wholly deserves to win this moving game, so I think it's a fair result.
Yes, I agree. He's definitely showed a better performance in this particular game here. He can just get, if it is Estonia and he just guesses middle Estonia, he wins.
Yep, absolutely. And it's definitely Estonia. He knows that. I mean, he sees the boss says Pohja Eesti, Eesti being the Estonian name for Estonia, so he's chilling here, for sure.
He is chilling. 15 seconds left. Will we maybe happen to see an impressive 5K or great guess? We actually do see Ocean Man in Finland, so that is just going to be the game.
Yeah.
Finn in Estonia will win.
Yeah, you may as well take the big risk. Round 10, Ocean Man, like, what the heck? He knows if it's Estonia, he's done for anyway, so he may as well try something. Yeah. What an impressive performance, though. It has to be said from Finbar.
Agreed.
I know we've been singing his praises the whole game, but yeah, that was one of the best moving games we've seen in the entire tournament, for sure.
I agree. Definitely the best of our stream, for sure.
Right,
And
yes.
maybe-
We haven't had the pleasure of watching Blinky, but
yeah.
definitely the best we've seen.
We move on to no moving now. I'd be curious to see. I think this would even it up a bit skill-wise here. Again, Finbar, that moving advantage, but both these players quite good at no move.
Yep. I imagine this will even it up a bit. This looks like India. It's very green, which is interesting.
Agreed. I'd be curious to see where this is. Both players seem a bit confused here. Maybe they're happy this is a round 1 and there's no multis yet, because we could see a pretty big difference in guesses. It's definitely possible. Both actually opting to be quite close to each other. It is just west of them, and not much. Ocean Man with a little wave. That's the classic, in case you don't know. You ever guess like right near your opponent, you have to force spam the wave emote. It's the only way.
It's the only way. Finbar, I'm not sure Finbar answered the wave of his own. Maybe that's bad luck for him.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think that's kind of BM.
This is interesting. Maybe Thailand? We have what look like oil palms. I would say maybe this is southern Thailand, if I had to guess, down in the Malay Peninsula.
I do like that. It makes sense.
Finbar with the Gulf of Thailand hedge.
Yeah, Finbar might be doing a little swimming here. We'll see. But yeah, the oil palms there. You just saw Finbar looking at them. Ocean Man, you can see them on his screen as well.
Ocean Man's thinking about
Common southern
Indonesia, which is possible. I'm not sure it's where I would guess, but it's possible. Yeah, the landscape to me looks a little more Thai. I think Finbar's probably got the right idea, but we'll see. We'll see.
It is just Thai. I'm surprised Finn didn't commit that even more, but it still does work out for him. Decent bit of damage as we go into round 3.
Yeah, you get a lot of weird bait areas towards the north, like around Bangkok and like southeast of it, that can look very peninsula-like, so I think he was just being extra careful with that guess.
Very understandable. Round 3 here in southern Chile, probably sort of far south. It seems pretty green and mountainous. So I would say bare minimum we're south of Santiago here.
Yep.
Let's see where our
Ocean
players
Man has
make a
locked it
guess.
in. Finbar is he scanning for roads? I wonder. No. He's got the town though.
Oh, he was seeing if he could get the exact road. What a great guess there from Finbar.
Yep. He was able to line up the road angle, found a town that fit, and yeah, made a beautiful guess. Looks like Kenya now. Finbar opting to go fairly west within the country, which makes sense. I mean, the greenness and the sort of red soil fit very, very well for the west, although you can see a lot of that to the north of Nairobi as well.
Yeah, they seem in a similar area here, so we shouldn't see too much in the point differential.
Yep. Finbar's a bit further west at the moment, and it's north of Nairobi. That's the other area.
That is the other area. That would make sense for that.
And yeah, pretty tricky country to region guess. Well, you can usually narrow it down to at least a couple of areas. This is interesting. Is this southern border? Never mind. Okay.
I could like that. It could be there.
Yeah, the more I look at it, I think it maybe is... Oh, boy. I'm not actually sure. Why am I getting mixed vibes from this? See, like, I thought it could be east, where Finbar is now.
That could make sense, too.
The
I
sort of
like where Finbar
rockiness
is.
fits, but then, like, the sort of deadness of the trees and stuff makes me think more south and west, so I'm actually not sure about this. I'm not a great Botswana player, so I trust the players more than myself here, but we'll see what they decide on.
Yeah, they both seem to be considering quite a bit, like really looking around all over. Ocean Man doesn't look too happy, you can see on the cam there. We're getting down to the bottom of it. 2 seconds.
It was west, yep.
It's far west.
That really sort of dead vegetation is very common for the west, and the sort of white soil made sense for the west as well. But at the same time, I understand their guesses in the east. I've made that mistake before. Speaking of Botswana?
Yeah, speaking of Botswana, run it back. It would appear we're just back in Botswana once again. And Finn opting east again. See if this pays off this time. Ocean Man now.
Look this time.
Oh, you see him debating the whole country. West, east, west, east.
Again, I'm not sure. It doesn't look the same as the last round, but I mean, the soil's pretty white, the vegetation's pretty dead, but it's also a lot more sort of shrubby rather than like sandy, like the last one was. So, again, I don't hate the guess around the salt pans, which is where they both are right now, but maybe Finbar's road here could work. It is just around the salt pans.
Yeah, Ocean Man ends up being closer. That's going to be good for the confidence. I feel like we were seeing a bit of a loss of confidence in Ocean Man, at least from watching the cam recently, so that's going to be good for him. He now has a lead going into round 7 with 4 times damage. It is still pretty close game here, but big for Ocean Man.
Yeah, I mean, that's his first big round win of the entire match so far, so that's definitely a confidence boost. What would be really interesting is if we get a US round, because I know that Ocean Man is an amazing US player, and yeah, in high damage, if that happens, then we could see a serious shakeup here. But for now, I think we're in Sweden or Finland. We will see what the players go for.
Yeah, Ocean Man definitely was looking a bit confused on this round, so we'll see. He hasn't even zoomed in the map yet. Here he goes. He's going north Sweden. Finn doing a little swimming once again.
Yep. I like the Gulf of Bothnia hedge. I'm not sure which country this is either, so... Yep, it is just North Sweden, but it's coastal.
Works out for Ocean Man. The commit in Sweden pays off. The confidence to not do the swimming. It works out for him. We are now on round 8, 4.5 times damage. Ocean Man has now increased his lead. Let's see if he can continue that or not.
Looks like a turkey here. We had a couple turkey runs in the moving games. We now have a no-move Turkey. Pretty tough country to region guess. I mean, maybe the olive trees, you look like more Western, more Mediterranean, kind of more similar to Greece, which the players seem to agree with, but still could be some points on offer here.
Most definitely. They both seem, you know, more in the Western area. However, Ocean Man much closer to the Mediterranean.
Nice guess, Ocean Man.
And it works out very well for Ocean Man. Finbar is now on 897 health. It is still possible for him to come back. 2 rounds to go, high multis, we will see. But Ocean Man with a big comeback.
Yep, I like the South Australia guess here. The white car works very well for this area. The sort of flat, slightly rolling landscape is something you get a lot in that area. So I definitely like the guess from Finbar. I would probably be in a similar area of South Australia if it was me.
Ocean Man going just in Victoria, sort of near Melbourne.
Good work too.
We'll see who ends up being closer here.
Wow.
It's pretty even distance, not too many points, but Ocean Man a little closer, just 590 points with the 5 times multiplier. Finbar is on his last life. This is round 10. This is it. Will we get NMPZ? Will Finbar make an insane comeback?
We could see something happen here. There's a name of a school, but it's not helpful as far as I can tell. Yeah, we know it's Colombia. We have these sort of crosses on the backs of the signs, which are indicative of Colombia when you're in Latin America. Not an easy region guess, which means Finbar definitely could make the comeback here if he makes a nice guess. We will see.
It is possible. You love to see this level of tension in a round 10 when really anything can happen.
Finbar probably going to take somewhat of a risk here, because if he clicks middle, he knows he probably loses. So he may... Well, he's actually going Bogota. He's switching to Bucaramanga. And he nails it. Unbelievable.
5Ks. Is that enough points?
Yes.
It is. And
Incredible.
he wins on round 10.
Wow.
Wow. What an insane guess from Finbar to win him the entire matchup when it seemed Ocean Man was taking it to NMPZ.
That's incredible. What a guess from Finbar. I don't think he had any information. He just vibe guessed. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, he knew he had to take a risk. It's round 10. He knows he's going to lose to the round limit if he just clicks the middle of the country, so he switched up to Bucaramanga. What an amazing round from Finbar. What a win.
Truly, truly impressive. I mean, Finbar showed serious dominance in the moving. Went to no move, had a lead, then Ocean Man seriously came back. He got the confidence back. You could see it in his play, you could see it in his face, but it goes to round 10 and Fin. What an insane guess.
Can't even blame Ocean Man. I mean, that's just like generic urban Colombia. I mean, if it's me, I'm clicking middle too, but yeah, Finbar took the risk, and wow, what an amazing guess.
It paid off. But chat, we get to take a look at Captain and MK. They're on their no-move game. Captain appears to have won the moving.
Ooh.
And we're now in no move. We get to drop right on in and see how this game is going. MK getting a good Japan guess right off the bat.
Yeah, interesting that Captain took the moving game. Of course, I don't think either of these players are particularly interested in moving around very much in a moving game, so makes sense that the moving game is already over. But
yeah.
that's a big win for Captain. I mean, MK is obviously an extraordinary player, so that's big for sure. Both players in Assam there. Sneaky South Assam near Bangladesh.
Worth noting, I mean, you just talked about how amazing MK is. MK is our second place World Cup player just this last September, and known for those insanely fast guesses, not giving his opponents even time to think. Hopefully we get to see some of that this game.
Is this California? Kinda looks like home, yeah.
Is it home? The Californian casters getting a little excited here. It kind of does.
Finally. Yeah, I could see this being something in the Bay Area. I mean, It definitely feels like California, and both players seem to agree.
Yeah, it does. It's
Wow.
south, though. Okay. Okay. Captain a little closer, but it is just close to San Diego.
California's so sneaky that way, I swear. Like, even now I can hardly ever tell the LA area from the Bay Area. It's like so many of the landscapes look the same anyway.
Yeah, they can look similar. One little tip for chat is you will get some more palms farther south, but otherwise it can be pretty similar.
Yep.
Looks like we're on Bulgaria here. Round 5, 3 times damage. Points are pretty similar. MK opting for a pretty far west guess. Captain, click middle, go next by the looks of it.
Yeah, MK going for Sofia, the capital. Captain going right in the middle. It's Schumann. Middle guess pays off.
The middle guess pays off. Click on the name of the country, guys. That's the secret cheat code.
MK under a little bit of pressure here, having lost the moving game. Tops, I thought Kyushu. I agree with the guess.
Yeah, very quick guess from MK. Does not care to look at anything else.
Ooh,
Captain just middle Japan, 3.5 times damage. This could be really big points, especially if MK's right on it.
This could be major. Yep.
And
I am wrong. Wow.
Wow.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. That'll win Captain the game. Captain has officially 2-0'd MK.
Goodness. Wow. What a result for Captain. Captain's been really good so far. I think I want to say he's 2-1 so far, and now he's 3-1 with the 2-0 victory against MK. One of the favorites of the entire league. This huge result for Captain. And definitely a bit of a surprise, but Captain showing that, yeah, he came to play.
Yeah, seriously impressive. I mean, that's our reigning second place World Cup champion. And Captain, really impressively, the 2-0. We didn't get to watch too much of it. We got to see a little bit of it there, which is always good to see. Love that we got to see a little bit of that. We do actually have enough time that we're going to get to see a little bit of Kratzo versus Gingy because those two games were so quick, which is super exciting. Guys, W for a third game in a segment. We take those.
Wow, and it's only the no move. We've got, yeah, plenty more action, hopefully. Kratzo taking the moving game, that's, I don't think, a surprise to anyone.
Agreed.
Excellent moving player. So
he is currently flawlessing Gingy
Medan
as well.
This is a very different area. Is his pin there? Where's his pin? Okay, he wasn't his Java.
Okay.
Just Jakarta.
They are just near each other. Gingy's wearing the classic Gingy jacket right now. I love to see it. That's the one he wore when he trekked all the way from Los Angeles to Stockholm on foot. If anybody watched the Road to World Cup series. Got round 5 here, 3 times damage. Kratsu's still flawlessing. Gingy a little bit behind here. Not too far behind, though. Could be anybody's game. Kratsu considering a little swimming by the looks of it. Gingy far north Finland.
Yeah, I don't mind the north guess. A lot of the trees are quite short, which usually indicates more north. But Kratsu is decently far south, although he seems to be moving a bit more north now.
Yeah, oh, he's committing Finland now. Kratsu deciding to dip out of the water, come onto the land. Genji, farther north though, and I like how far north he is, because as you were saying, with the trees being shorter like that.
Yep.
We're running out of time here on this round, only 3 seconds to go. Who will be closer? Gingy locks, and it's right in between them. Gingy slightly closer. That's going to break Kratsu's flawless. Possibly good for the mental, but not too much to write home about as we go on to the next round.
Gingy is the one under pressure here. He knows he has to win if he wants to take it to the NMPZ. Kratsu, such a strong moving player, and also a no moving player. Hard to take any games off of him, but Gingy knows he's good enough to pull it off.
He definitely is. Both players sort of close to each other in Thailand here. Sort of just clicking middle. They're not seeing much. They're trying to find anything they can, but there's really not much to go off of. It's just going to be a vibe guess here.
Yep. Gingy is pretty far north right now, which is interesting because the landscape is fairly flat from what we can see, but doesn't mean it can't be north. But yeah, Kratso going into more safe middle Thailand, guess. Yep.
Yeah, and it is just middle. I like your call out about the north being much more mountainous there, so with it being so flat, a central guess definitely pays off well for Kratsu.
Yep, it works every time until it ends up being max north, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd the mountains go?
Both players quick zoom Peru.
Kratso switched to Colombia. Gingy sticking with Peru. I'm not sure here. I mean, this is really tricky. I could see either country here.
I could too. This is a difficult one.
Are black? I don't know if that helps. I'm not
Regardless,
too good with car colors, but
4 times damage.
This will end the game
different countries.
Unless it's like North Peru. I think this probably ends the game either way.
I think so. Let's see where it is. Gingy on it!
Beautiful guess from Gingy. Wow.
What an amazing guess to take him to the NMPZ game. He evens it up. Chat, we get an NMPZ to end the day. Where's the hype, guys? I need some hype in the chat for this. Let's lock in NMPZ Kratsu versus Gingy.
I have no idea how this one's going to go. I mean, again, both of these players so strong in all modes. I think this one really is just going to come. It's going to come down to the rounds that we get. Who can lock in a little bit more than the other?
Yeah, we'll see. Wow, quick US zoom. Oklahoma from Gingy.
US, wow. I might have thought Europe on this, but no, okay, yeah. I trust them more than I trust myself. He's switching his pin between the continents. Kratsu's not sure either.
Oh my.
They're all over the place right now.
Gingy in southern Alabama now. Kratsu considering Europe. We could see different continents, but no multis yet.
Yep. The round won't end the game no matter what happens, but we could see a major amount of damage.
Is Kratsu zooming in on Indonesia right now?
Yeah, he's in Sulawesi. Oh my goodness. It's anyone's guess.
Okay, no, they're both US. They're both US. Pins are both in US and
how similar their guesses are after all of that deliberation.
Yeah, they end up being like right there next to each other. It is northern Florida. Gingy a little closer. Only 311 points after all of that.
They were in Europe, they were in Indonesia, and then they ended up basically in the same place. And it was a good guess, too. I mean, even getting that is US is really hard to do. That was a super tough round. Speaking of tough rounds.
We're on round 2 now. It seems to be possibly... we have a Brazil guess from Gingy, but he also debated Mexico. Kratsu going Brazil as well. I do like Brazil. The dirt's pretty like brown though compared to some common Brazilian like roads and dirt that you would consider. So now Gingy opting to go back towards Mexico. Brazil would be a little redder in the dirt, if redder is even a word.
Yeah, redder's a word.
We'll call it a word. We'll just call it a word and
it's a word. Give yourself more credit.
Yeah. Seems that Kratsu's gonna commit here. Brazil. Gingy considered Brazil a bunch, but is still in Mex. The time runs down. They are in opposite countries. They're both considering both of the options, and it ends up being Mexico for Gingy.
It's not enough though.
It's not enough to win the game, but that is a serious hit to Kratsu, both health-wise and for the mental.
What a crazy round. You're right. The soil wasn't that red. But it's interesting that it was West Coast because we had sugarcane, so I would have guessed that it was closer to where Gingy was. But the fact that he was a little off within the country is what kept Kratso alive here.
Yeah, we go to round 3 now. Now we're on 2 times. It feels like we're so much farther into the NMBZ game, how much excitement there's been. But we're only on round 3. 2 times damage. They're both pretty close to each other. Coastal Croatia makes the most sense here from the look of this round.
This won't end the game either way, but we could see a little bit of damage. Oh my goodness.
Gingy. Are we at the Gingy Masterclass now? The Gingy NMPZ Masterclass? What's going on?
What a guess. He got the island. There are so many islands, and he's on the right one.
He's on the right one. Quick zoom from Gingy right away near... Oh, is he going to swim? Is he going to do a little swimming?
Might just do the Denmark water hedge. Ooh.
Is that a Bornholm from Kratzu? Did I see him zoom into that island?
He is in Bornholm. I wonder if it's because he sees... I don't know if there's a... Like, maybe the roof of that house maybe is more Bornholm, or if he sees some sort of other specific clue, but he is currently in Bornholm.
Maybe he just wants to commit for the fun of it.
Ugh. Yeah, maybe, although that could... I mean, if it's not Bornholm, it costs him the game, probably, if it's mainland Denmark.
Yeah.
That's a
Nah, he
risk
wouldn't
and a
actually
half.
just do it for the fun. He's gonna go more toward the mainland, near Copenhagen. They're both right there, right next to each other.
I think given the score right now, I think this is a smarter guess from Kratzo to stay on the mainland.
I agree.
He's still
I agree.
thinking about moving back.
Thinking about it.
Yep.
It is good he stayed. Kratzu.
I think if he goes Bornholm, he loses there.
Yeah, I think so as well. That's very smart of him to not do the commit. Just in
And also,
case.
there's no way he's going to win either. I mean, even if it is Bornholm when he goes Bornholm, I mean, Gingy's on 6,000 health, so it's just not a risk that's worth taking for him there.
We go to round 5 here, 3 times damage in Germany by the looks of it. They're both pretty central. You see Gingy's doing the cheat code I told you guys about, where you just click on the name of the country. So therefore he's going to 5k, of course. Obviously.
That is how it works.
That is how it works. We'll see. They both are pretty close to each other, regardless of my shenanigans. Yeah, both right there, pretty central. Nothing too
Similar
crazy
guesses.
here.
It's possible Gingy could win. I'm not sure. It's not going to do it, I don't think.
He is closer, but yeah, not gonna win him the game, but deal a decent bit of damage to Kratzu. Kratzu now in the red, 700 even. To Gingy's 5,700.
And not what Kratzo wants to see. I mean, he wants larger countries, given he's down by so much. But this is going to be Sweden. We have these short dashed outer lines, which are very, very commonly seen in Sweden, and they're shorter than the ones you see in Norway. So both players are going to know the country here, but it comes down to the region guess, unless it's Estonia, which it looks like neither one is considering it. But you can get... Oh, Kratzo maybe is considering it.
They do have
You
those
get lines
dashes
like
in
this in Estonia, so it's not impossible. I think...
I do like the southern Sweden vibe, though. I like that guess quite a bit. They both lock it in. Gingy a little closer again. I don't know if that's going to be enough to win him the game. It won't be, but it's not good for Kratzu. You see a big heavy sigh from Kratzu. He is not in a good position right now.
Hanging on by a thread, but this is the type of round that he wants. Large country. I guess Colombia. Yeah, I was thinking it might be Brazil, but it probably is Colombia, which is still decent for Kratzo, but not as good as something like Brazil or Russia or the US.
Yeah, oh, Gingy considering Brazil, possibly? Looks like he zoomed over there and looked back in at the round, but he seems more confident in Colombia. I do like that. Kratzu has not opened the map yet. We don't know exactly what he's thinking, where his brain is at. He's closing his eyes and giving it a second look. Is that a new tactic? You're in an NPC game, you're questioning yourself, and then you cover your eyes to reset and then look again?
They both look pretty confused. I don't know if they're trying to see the pole or something, but they are deep in thought. Neither of them is sure. Gingy is heavily considering Brazil.
Does Kratzu have a guess down yet? He doesn't. He goes Brazil. They
Gingy
both go
switched to
Brazil.
What is happening? it's Panama.
Panama. Neither of them get it. That's 56 damage to Gingy. Imagine if Gingy had stayed Colombia, though. He would have won.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
That is insane. We're on round 8, 4.5 times damage right now. This has been a wild NMPZ game.
Panama. Man, it makes so much sense, too, in hindsight, actually, thinking about it now.
Right, it does.
It's so easy to forget about Panama, though.
Yeah,
NMPZ.
definitely, because a lot of people rely on things like the Google car meta. So without that, it can be quite hard. Mexico here, both players pretty close to each other. Are they in the same state? I didn't see that. No.
This is a little more south than Aguascalientes. Yeah.
Gingy just needs to be slightly closer here. Mexico, definitely a big enough country that just being closer with only 455 health and 4.5 times damage, this could be the game, or Kratzu stays alive.
Gingy, worth noting, is a very, very good Mexico player.
Yes, one of the best. Ooh. But Kratzu is closer.
It's pretty big.
4.5 times damage, that's a pretty big hit to Gingy. It could be anyone's game now. We go to round 9. The multi is about to be 5 times damage. Gingy with such quick zooms. Kratzu to follow. Zooming in Thailand. Gingy far north near Lao.
I agree.
Nope.
Yeah.
He switches to Bangkok.
White car, red soil, flat. Works for this sort of Isan region of Thailand. And also the area north of Bangkok.
Both players seem to be kind of just north of Bangkok now. We'll see if they keep it there or not. Nope. Gingy.
She's switching over to Isan. Kratzu staying in Bangkok. This could be big. I think it would probably be enough for either player if they end up close.
We'll see. Kratzu zooming out and looking at the whole world really quickly.
Gingy moving a little closer. A little more west. And Kratzu moving a little more east. Now I think they're in really similar areas.
They're like on top of each other. No.
Kratzu's
still moving to the last second. And he's closer. I don't think that's going to be enough to win in the game, but it's going to take us to round 10, our final round. 5.5 times damage. What are we looking at? Wow, we are looking at Argentina. Big country, big points, Jake.
Yeah, La Pampa road angle, maybe? Gingy and La Pampa province, you get a lot of sort of north-south grids in La Pampa, and this road is straight north-south, so I understand Gingy's guess for sure. But Argentina is a huge country, so it pretty much whoever's closer is very likely going to win here.
This is insane. It all comes down to this, everybody. Strap in your seatbelts. Lock in.
Both in La Pampa now.
Is it. They're both in La Pampa with 15 seconds on the clock.
Up San Luis.
He moves to San Luis. That's a big difference. Big of enough.
Switch back. He's thinking about it. I don't know.
Big enough difference to end it out. The timer runs out.
And
Kratzu's closer.
It's gotta be enough. It is.
That's
huge.
Gotta be enough.
Look
points.
at the reaction.
Celebration from Kratzu. Wow. I mean, to start that NMPC game with basically a Gingy masterclass and Kratzu to take it back in the end. Look at the relief on his face there on the cam.
What a comeback.
I mean,
he was on, what, 400 health with probably round 4 or 5. He was on about 400 health, and he just stuck with it the entire time. He was just a little bit closer every single round. He was able to prolong the game, and he got that guess in Argentina to take it. What performance from Kratzu.
That is a crazy way to end the day. I'm so happy that was our last game of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. We should take a look at our overall standings here, or we'll look at the schedule first and then the overall standings. This is what went down today. We did see a Moo Harrier went down off screen during this current segment that we didn't get to watch. Very impressive from Moo, just holding out. This is what happened today, guys. Take a look. I mean, we've been seeing this schedule throughout the day, but now we're seeing the results of it. I mean, very impressive. A lot of 2-0s, but lots of games that went the distance too. Did you have a favorite, Jake?
A favorite game?
Yeah.
Or match, you mean? Honestly, I mean, Kratzu Gingy, like NMPZ round 10, doesn't get much better than that. I think that's got to be my pick. Yeah.
Honestly, that might be mine too. Or just Finbar, that ending it out on Colo there was incredible.
Yes, that was amazing too. Yep.
Wild day, amazing matches today. We'll take a look at our overall standings now that our second day is done. This is it, guys. This is where we stand. Finbar shot up to 5th place just from playing today. He did not play at all last weekend. He played his matches today. He is now 5th in the world ranking. That's a very impressive thing to note. Captain up in 6th now, also impressive. I don't think people knew as much about him. I don't think this was necessarily as expected from him. Seeing him in 6th is very exciting. Anything you notice here, Jake, you want to talk about?
Well, you're talking about Finbar. Not only is he in 5th place, but he's played 3 matches. If you take a look at the next player who's played 3 matches or fewer, it's Orlando in 17th. Everyone above Orlando has played at least 4 matches except for Finbar, and he's in 5th place. So that's incredible. Really, really cool to see Finbar playing that well. He hasn't lost a single game yet. Also, Moo, too, in 3rd place. Amazing start, and he hasn't lost a match either. All of those top 5 are still undefeated in their matches. And so just, yeah, amazing, incredible gameplay. What more could we ask for?
Yeah, what an amazing day. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed the day. I know I did. I've been your host, Project Bloom, or Bloom. Feel free to check me out on Twitch or YouTube if you'd like. Joined by the GOAT, Jake. Jake, anything you want to shout out?
Nah, just thanks all for watching. I mean, I could shout out my YouTube channel, but I'll have plenty of opportunities to do that.
Every week.
But yeah.
Every week.
Exactly. But it's just a pleasure to be here. Shout out all the fans, all the friends, everyone watching. Just thanks for the support, and it's so glad. It's so cool to be able to do this.
We appreciate you guys watching, staying tuned. We love that you love this game as much as we do. Keep tuning in every week. Tune in for the YouTube recaps if you missed anything and want to get caught up. Guys, thanks for watching. I've been Bloom. As always, peace.
Bye.